And here we are once
Fantastic
again.
Four.
I'm sorry, you're right, Dylan. 2015 edition this time.
Fan4stic, if you will.
You know, this has been one amazing journey. For those of you who are new here, this is the fourth part of a 5-part series where we have been discussing and reviewing and watching all of the Fantastic Four movies. We started with the technically unreleased 1994 Fantastic Four movie, and then we moved on to the 2005 Fantastic Four, and then from there we did Rise of the Silver Surfer. Now here we are at our last stop before First Steps, 2015 Fan4stic. Hoo boy.
Mm-hmm. I was really not looking forward to coming over today. Like I was telling Dylan and Caleb both, I was just like, I don't want to be here.
You know, I actually had 2 different homies ask if we were going to do this same thing for Superman ahead of the Superman movie coming out.
No.
And I answered, number 1, no. Number 2, the reason we're not going to do that is because there's like fucking 6 Superman movies. If you're just going off of live action solo Superman movies, there's 6 of them shits. There's also like 4 TV shows, and that's not even including all the Justice League stuff that he's in. And I was like, what we will do is a preview episode where we can talk about all of the various media, Superman media over the years. But no, we will not be reviewing Quest for Peace.
Yeah, that's much more doable. If I can be completely honest, I'm keeping everything away from Dylan. But, you know, if I can be completely honest, even this Fantastic Four series review started off as a joke because I presented it to Caleb thinking that he would say no. He said yes.
So this is entirely Caleb's fault.
Yeah.
And then he gave me another out and was like, well, you know we got to do the unreleased 1994 one. And I was like, no, dog, I don't think we should do that. But you know what? Fuck it. I'll do it if we can bring Dylan and Oz.
So this is entirely
Caleb's fault. God damn it.
No, it's Ace's fault. Because I never would have suggested that we do this.
Ace, since you're able to see this from a different angle, maybe you understand. Mm-hmm. What did I do?
You know, Dylan, it's not... Sometimes bad things happen to good people.
Oh, I'm a good person.
I didn't say that. I'm giving an example. Sometimes bad things happen to people who aren't directly involved with something.
Batman Ninja 2.
First off, you asked to be on that.
No, I didn't.
It's known on the streets
be on that one?
as catching a stray.
Yeah, that is exactly what that is. You caught several strays, Dylan.
Yeah, I did.
Somebody pulled up with the Tommy gun and aimed it directly at you. You caught all the strays.
They thought I was somebody else.
Yeah, something about a clone. I don't know.
See, that's why you definitely need to have this shit running when we're just getting ready. Because now they're not going to know.
If you guys could see all the off-mic bullshit that goes on in here.
Me with the pen.
Oh, and I haven't even bothered to look at my toilet paper. Some demon comes over my house and fucks with the toilet paper in my guest bathroom every time.
And switches it from beard to mullet.
The last one who did that was Oz.
I did do it once, but it was not last time.
That was the last time
we all know beards are cool, mullets are bad. Everybody knows.
I haven't touched your toilet paper.
That goes for your toilet paper. If I go in my bathroom right now, I expect that toilet paper to be the way I left it.
As far as I know, it will be.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Oh, no.
Caleb, can I ask you, what are these slips of paper in front of all of us?
Well, see, we have reached the end of the road to first steps. And so we have now, as of tonight, we have reviewed all of the existing Fantastic Four movies, starting with the unreleased 1994 gem of a film and going all the way to the 2015 Fan4stic. So I decided, and we kind of alluded to this on a previous episode, that a point of discussion tonight is that we will sort of rank each of the sort of major players here and these films.
Hold up. You missed the most important character.
He really did, and I'm very upset.
Well, the reason that I did not put Jimmy on the list is because he's only in 2 of these. And he is clearly the main character of those films.
It's true. And for those of you who don't know, yes, we are the world's foremost expert on Jimmy O'Houlihan, okay? And if you don't know who Jimmy O'Houlihan is, just Google him.
And we'll tell you.
And we'll tell you exactly who he is.
Because if you Google Jimmy O'Houlihan, folks, there's only a few things that pop up. The first thing is the actual official Marvel database entry for Jimmy O'Houlihan. Everything else in the results is us.
Including a really doofy looking thumbnail of me.
Whoever picked out that thumbnail is a genius.
I look so fucking happy and kind of high.
If I saw that shit, I would have to click on it just to know what this person was on about.
Oh boy. Okay, I can't wait to get into this, but before we do, I suppose proper introductions are in order. So with that being said, homies one and all, welcome back to another very special episode of the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and I'm joined here with the rest of the crew that will help me discuss 2015 edition. As always, I am here with the coolest co-host in the world. I'm talking about the homie Caleb.
Wait, you said 13.
What?
You said 2013 edition.
Did I?
Did he? I heard 15.
I heard 13.
Well, anyway.
I tuned him out.
Whether it's 13 or 15, I am the world's coolest co-host. And here we are, folks. I am excited that we have reached the end of this particular journey.
You know, right when you thought the journey couldn't get any worse, it takes a turn, and then we wind up at Fan4stic. Isn't that interesting? But, of course, here along the way to help us reminisce and break down this tremendous journey that we've been on, we have here one of my nearest and dearest, one of my oldest and closest. I'm talking about one of just the best darn people that we know, who's voted the sexiest man alive 8 times in a row, but they had to take him off because he kept winning. I'm talking about the homie Oz.
What the fuck? Well, hi, everybody. Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Caleb, why'd you look at me that hard?
I thought he was talking about you.
I was literally like, who the fuck is he talking about? Like,
Don't play dumb with me. It came from GQ.
oh, okay.
I don't work at GQ.
Yeah.
But I am excited to finally, get this over with. But at the same time, I'm still super hyped for the end of this. I cannot wait for, first steps. That's what I'm excited about.
Absolutely. And last but never least, we have one of the most intelligent people, not just in this room, but in the whole goddamn world. I'm talking about the man, the myth, the legend himself, the homie Dylan, who I wish could be here today, but actually we have not a clone per se, but more of a Doom bot variant. And he's been sending these Dylan bots in for like the past 4 episodes, thinking that I wouldn't catch on, but I did. But I appreciate the Dylan bot Doom clone being here regardless.
So C-137.
I feel like if I were to do that, I probably would not program in that they would know they're a clone.
Just like Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
So I don't believe I'm a clone, but I can't say for certain.
Can anybody really say for certain?
I mean, every 7 years, your cells die and replace themselves. So, like Theseus' ship, are you really the same person you were 7 years ago?
Well, here we are, deep and introspective right off the bat.
Way more deep and introspective than our actual subject matter tonight can ever be.
We are here to discuss Fan4stic. Should we do this now or should we wait?
I think we should do this at the end.
Yeah, I think
to make them have to watch the rest of this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we did. So homies, at the end of this episode, you will get our rankings.
Let me hide my rankings.
The Fantastic Four movies, but not just the movies, but
Let me see your pen.
But you will get our thoughts.
You'll get him the pen.
Well, he doesn't disassemble it, and then
I think he did once.
It's possible, only because of you.
You can't prove that.
But at the end of this review, we will be discussing who has been our favorite Reed Richards or Sue Storm, Johnny, Ben, Doom, which movie has been our overall favorite. We'll be discussing those for each of the 4 movies that have come out. So it's going to be interesting to see which of these movies will come out on top. Which one's going to get the most votes? Yeah, man. And this is one of those things where it's like, would you rather have Death by Bees like Nick Cage and Wicker Man. Would you rather get eaten alive by a bear, because a bear don't give a fuck if you're alive or not when it eats you?
Cocaine bear.
Yeah, cocaine bear. Would you rather, I don't know, get fucking massacred by Candyman, or
death by Snoo Snoo?
Or that's
wait, what?
That option is not on this list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or something else that's equally traumatic. That's kind of what it's like doing.
Yeah, 3 things popped in my head. I'm not going to say any of them. I don't think they're allowed on this channel.
And that's saying something, because there's a lot that's allowed on this page.
And yet you didn't question that I thought something up that shouldn't be on your page.
Nope.
Yeah, I both believe you and agree with his statement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not going to risk you saying it, because I don't have to edit anything out right now.
Yeah, then you have to hear it twice.
That's true. That's true.
All right. Well, with that being said, I want to break us in with something that I think is an interesting story and a great way to bring us into the Fantastic Four, and that is by giving you guys the more you know, which I still need to make that button. The more you know.
You made the Fantastic Four button, but you didn't make.
I know.
The more you know.
I'll have it for next time.
Maybe you'll replace the Fantastic Four button after this next one.
After First Steps, I will reluctantly replace the Fantastic Four button.
I'll believe it when I see it.
But I wanted to talk about, because before this episode, before we even sat down here, I was thinking about, okay, what are some things that I can bring to this podcast to help the homies get more inclined to the comic books and how in relation to the movies? What are some things that I can bring? And so I was thinking about what are some of my favorite stories from the Fantastic Four. And honestly, there are a few of them that I really, really enjoy, but I thought about it. What's something just that's more short and concise and just entertaining that we can bring to the people here? And I thought about my favorite story that involves Dr. Doom. This is a tremendous story. This is a story that would never be written today in the comics. But I think that it is one that lives on in infamy in the internet and in physical copies if you can get your hands on it. This is actually a Luke Cage story. Yeah.
Does someone yell, "I'm Luke Cage"? And is that person, in fact, not Luke Cage?
Believe it or not, that does not happen in this story.
Shameful.
I know.
Wait a second. Was I supposed to mark them in like a top 4?
Yes, it says rank them.
I mean, there weren't any real true instructions here. As a matter of fact, I didn't even really count on anybody actually putting anything on the paper, but I'm just doing it now because I can.
Why would you give me paper?
It's true.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, you're supposed to do that.
Well, sometimes paper is just informational. You're not always supposed to draw on it.
Sometimes it's a weapon.
Well,
anyway, you were saying.
And the name of an agent.
This story takes place in homies. I already said Dr. Doom and Luke Cage, and some of you guys who are comic book readers probably already know exactly where I'm going with this. But we're going back to the early days of Luke Cage. And going back to the early days of Luke Cage, we have to remember that Luke is a character who is a direct result of blaxploitation films. He was created because of the popular craze of blaxploitation, and the people at Marvel at the time, they were like, well, black people read comics too. And so they made a character who was in direct correlation with the films at that time that were targeted towards the black audience. And thus we have Luke Cage. Obviously today, he has been more modernized and he is a more in-depth character. But that's not to say they didn't have his qualities even back then.
This is, did he have on the wild-ass Power Man outfit?
Not quite that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still just the frill yellow shirt that's kind of open. He had like the mini fro back then, with the power cuffs and all that.
But not like the Harlem Heat bullshit.
No, none of that yet. So Luke Cage, his origin is that he was a prisoner and then he gets experimented on, and that's how he gets his powers, the unbreakable skin. He gets out of prison. He needs a job. And this is how, long story short, this is how Luke becomes a hero for hire. That's kind of his moniker. He's the hero for hire. He will do things for money that require his heroics. Well, Dr. Doom needs something done, of all people. You see, Dr. Doom, as smart as he is and as wise as he is, he accidentally let loose in New York some of his Doom bots, and he needs to get them back. But he's like, fuck, goddamn, I lost some of these goddamn Doom bots. So like a mini quest in the video game, Doom has to gather up all these Doom bots, but he don't want to do that shit. He's Dr. Doom. And so he's like, well, who do I get for do that? I can't call the Fantastic Four, obviously. I can't get them to do it.
Don't tell me to fuck off.
Yeah, they're just telling me to fuck off. Thank you, Doom. And then he's like, oh, wait, this Luke Cage guy, he can probably handle these Doom bots and get them back to me in Latveria. This would be perfect. And this is where the story quickly takes a turn for the hilarious, in my humble opinion. Is Dr. Doom and Luke Cage, they link up, and hey, bro, listen, man, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to find these Doom bots and just get them back to me, and then I'll pay you for it. And Luke goes, shit, all right. I don't see a problem with this. All right.
Sweet Christmas.
Yeah, sweet Christmas. So how much we talking? And Dr. Doom was like, man, you want to get paid? All right, bro, I'll give you $200 for it.
Please do not tell me that Luke Cage does this for $200.
Each or like total?
Total.
That's a lot. That worked.
Was this like the 80s?
Yeah.
Okay, well, $200 was a lot.
But still, okay.
That was the rent back then.
Adjusted for inflation, what, $1,600?
Yeah, probably.
So,
even if it's $2,000, that's not a lot of money.
No.
To go wrangle up a whole fuck ton of fucking Doombots.
Yes.
Yeah, how many Doombots are we talking about?
Yeah, that's a fair point. How many?
So I want to say it was like a handful, like between 4 and 6.
Any number over 2.
Yeah, it's still a lot to deal with, you know.
Yeah, I mean, especially considering that I'm assuming these are like full tilt Doombots.
Yeah, these weren't like, I mean, well, they probably weren't that full tilt because they went a fucking rogue.
Right, yeah. Fuller tilt.
Yeah.
Fuller tilt.
The fullest of tilt Doombots.
But Luke Cage hears that price, and he's like, 200? Shit, all right. And Luke Cage,
how hurting for money was he?
He just got out of prison. This is very early on in the Luke Cage comic.
So he's not only broke, he's also bored.
Yeah.
Damn.
Mostly broke, but also bored, And so Luke Cage does his job, and he's able to wrangle those Doombots. And I forget how he gets them back to Doom, but he does. He gets all of them back to Doom. I don't know if he is able to just give them a direct order that Doom gave him that has them go back if he puts them on the shipping container. I forget how, but he gets them back to Latveria. And then he calls Doom, and Doom has blocked him.
What a bitch! Hold up.
Doom was not answering the fucking phone.
Dude couldn't even pay out $200.
It gets better. Luke would not fucking take this L.
No, fuck that.
Not at all.
I'm kind of on Luke's side for this one part of it, at least.
He goes to the Baxter building to find the Fantastic Four.
Damn.
And he goes to Reed Richards, and he's like, hey, man, look. I need to borrow the Fantastic car.
Not that I need help from you guys. I just need to borrow your car.
I need to borrow.
I just need to get there.
And Reed is like, can I ask why you need...
Did he at all go, who the fuck are you?
Victor owes me $200. Give him the keys.
That's pretty much what happened. You see, at this time in the comic books, there was some kind of bullshit going on where, like, superheroes weren't technically allowed to go to Latveria because of some kind of treaty or whatever. And that included the Fantastic Four. They couldn't go to Latveria during this time.
I mean, if I was Victor Von Doom, that's the first law I'd pass.
Get out.
And so once Reed kind of gets wind of what Luke is wanting to do, he's like, all right, man, so it leans a little bit to the left when you go over like 900. So you're just... So Luke Cage...
First off, I'm a little shocked that he didn't fix that.
That's true. I just threw that in.
I probably would, though.
But Luke Cage takes this fucking flying car, this jet, this fantastic car, and I'm assuming that Reed has GPS coordinates already locked and loaded to get to Latveria.
Oh, probably.
Because I don't know how Luke Cage would know how to get there. But he does.
That's a fair point.
The car probably just took him there. He probably didn't drive.
I mean, yeah, Reed's like, just hit this button.
Yeah.
That's the speed dial for taking me the fuck to Liberia.
And so Luke Cage flies from New York City to Eastern Europe, where Latveria is, lands the car, gets out, fights his way into Castle Doom, fights his way into there. He's fucking throwing manservants and Doom bots all over the fucking place. And Dr. Doom is in his lair just chilling. And he's like, the fuck is that noise going?
He's not even watching the security camera screen, just goddamn, he's got some tenacity. No, he's just who the fuck is this?
I believe it's one of his Doom bots that comes in and they're like, sir, there's something you need to know. And then, the way that I never forget this specific comic panel, it's it kind of pans forward, and then Luke Cage breaks into where Doom is at. And Doom is like, I knew it. I knew it had to be you. One of my servants told me that a crazy black man broke in.
Oh, God!
Oh, what the fuck?
Luke Cage is like, you goddamn right, bitch.
Give me my $200.
Give me my $200.
Does Doom pay him?
They fight for a little bit, and then Doom was like, the fuck is happening right now? Take your fucking money and never come back.
You shouldn't have cut me off, bitch.
I'm gonna be honest. Him just taking 200 is nice of him.
Yeah.
At this point,
he spent more in fuel, I'm sure, to get over there.
I mean, that shit probably runs on whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, and he still he used Reed's fuel, not his.
Honestly, he ain't gonna bring it back topped up.
Honestly, I'm sure Reed, even if that fuel costs $1,000 a mile, I'm sure that Reed thought it was a great investment.
He probably had some fucking little invisible drone watching the whole shit, just eating popcorn, just this is great.
So homies, that is your Fantastic Four / Luke Cage story for the day.
Wow, I wish any of our heroes or any of these Dr. Dooms were as well characterized.
That would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to talk about Fan4stic now.
Yeah, this is definitely one that we have sort of alluded to this whole time, and we have watched it, folks. I have seen this movie now twice, and that is 2 more times than I would like to. But why don't we start with Dylan? He loves to go first.
I did remember why I forgot the second half of this movie. It's because nothing fucking happened.
Well, yeah. Since you're gonna get to kick us off, man, what's your overall thoughts on the movie?
It's just meh. It's just there's 2 scenes that make me angry, but everything else I'm just why is this a thing?
So your 2 emotions about the movie are angry and bothered?
Do not.
I do feel like we are stumbling on to something that Dylan might actually just be real life Dr. Doom.
Oh wow!
I feel insulted.
If you ever get the powers that this one has,
We're best friends, right?
Yeah.
If I get the powers this one has, but it comes with that face, I don't want them.
Yeah.
If
I'm not even that vain of a person. I don't want to look like I walk around with a weird green colored gimp mask.
If you asked me to do a job for you and you promised to pay me $200,
I'd actually pay you the $200.
Okay.
It's easier than having you come and fight me. Especially since I'm lowballing you from the start.
From the start.
From the start.
I mean, honestly.
If I was $1 million and you're like, shit, okay, and you actually did it and I just didn't think you could, I'd be like, no, don't let him in here.
See, I totally thought that the one that contacted him originally was going to be a Doombot itself and just not know.
So if the Doombots all think they're Doom, how are their servants?
It's kind of it's one of those things where it's you ever seen Westworld?
Yeah.
So you know how
most of it anyway.
You know Arnold was his name in the show. Yeah. Commissioner Gordon. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright, yeah. The amazing Jeffrey Wright. How like he would look at something, he said, "I don't see anything at all."
It's just man.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
that's kind of cool.
Just doesn't.
That's smart.
Just doesn't register. But then there are other Doombots that are lower on the totem pole, and they're just
okay. They're just servant Doombots.
Yeah.
That's
They're just C-3POs with capes.
Basically.
Even if I had clones, I don't know if I could make a clone of me do a menial task like that, because you're still seeing yourself do a at that point lower task.
Yeah.
So like, that's weird. But anyway, this movie, I really don't. I have the same feelings of this movie now as I did before we watched it. It's just, Is it the worst Fantastic Four movie? Yes. Yes, it is. And I think the main reason it's that low for me. Well, yes, it's not a great movie. It's because it doesn't even manage to make me mad. It's bad at even being bad. And that somehow frustrates me more.
Understandable.
Yep, agreed. Oz, what you got, buddy?
So I want to start by saying that this is just a bad movie. It's very bad. But I agree with Dylan. His thought process on it, like where it's. I didn't feel mad at this movie. I just felt nothing for this movie at all. I think the only the positive I could kind of give it is the first time you see Reed use his powers in that fight. But that's about it.
That was a fun fight. It was like,
could be a lot better.
I didn't say it was a great fight. I said it was a fun fight.
Fair.
If this movie had any kind of creative backbone, when Ben showed up, they would have actually had them do something there.
You know what? An actual fight between those two would be cool.
Yeah.
I think that would be. Yeah. It does have my favorite Reed Richards, which we will get into the list. But as far as everything else, I hated this. Yeah.
Ace.
Well, hold on. He said he hated it, but he also said it's not the worst earlier.
It's not.
I made him watch Howard the Duck, So.
I thought he said worst Fantastic Four movie.
That is exactly what I said, but we'll get into that when we get into the list.
I just wanted to make sure to tease that point for the viewers.
Oh yeah.
So for me, Fan4stic is, I was going to say an interesting movie, but that's not true. This movie isn't interesting.
No.
This movie's kind of a trip because it has probably, I imagine, the biggest budget out of all 4 Fantastic Four movies.
Oh, that makes
That's what I was looking up.
And I was gonna say, whenever you said trip, I was gonna say on your favorite rocket ship, but there's no ships.
There's no, there don't even take a
No
rocket
ships
ship.
in this one.
The break even on this movie was $200 million. And it made $167 million globally.
That's more than I thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to think that this is 2015, right? So Avengers, the MCU was hot. Logan came out in 2016,
2017.
So even Fox was relatively Days of Future Past, had come out. So this was the absolute height of superhero stuff. This is when Batman versus Superman was turning out $1 billion.
Deadpool 1 was somewhere around here. I think 2016.
Yeah, and it made 700, 800 million, something like that. So I mean that's absurdly low for a top studio superhero movie during this point in time.
Especially for Marvel's first family, here's the thing that people also don't recognize or understand is that there would be no modern Marvel comics if the Fantastic Four weren't selling like hotcakes back in the 60s.
Yeah.
They couldn't stay on the shelves. It's the Fantastic Four that got Marvel off the ground. There would be no shared universe without them. They are the ones. And you would think that, they were such a big deal in the comic books. Surely they can translate that into live action, into the movie. 4 attempts in, and still the answer is no.
Did they ever make a show?
They had a cartoon.
The fact I haven't heard of it's probably telling.
Fun fact, in the cartoon, they actually well, in the one that I remember seeing that I think was in the 70s or 80s, they couldn't use Human Torch because they had actually licensed the rights to him to make a movie because he was, I guess, the cool one in the group.
Yeah.
The movie obviously never got off the ground, but that's where we get Herbie from, the little robot. So Herbie took the place of Human Torch in that TV show, and that's where he came from. And then, of course, later on, he got incorporated into the comic books, and now he's in First Steps.
He got Harley Quinn.
He got Harley Quinn. People hated Herbie.
And they were like, nah, you're going to love him eventually. Yeah. We know.
We're going to make you love him.
Yeah, you will.
You will. But no, I think this movie is somehow the most heartless of all of them.
I will give you that.
Yeah. And it's really weird. I'm not going to lie. The first time I saw this movie, I was pretty intrigued by the tone of it. Because you go into the beginning of this movie, and this is just so tonally different from what you expect from a Fantastic Four movie. And then by the end of it, I feel like my eyes are bleeding, and I'm just glad it's over.
This movie was the longest 2-hour, not 2-hour movie I've ever seen.
Yes. Caleb, what'd you think?
Oh boy. There's so much. I agree with you too on the tone thing. When you first start this movie, you're like, okay, this is about to be like, not necessarily grimdark, but like a darker Fantastic Four.
Grimdark?
Yes. Like with two M's.
2 M's? Okay.
Like Sir Benjamin Grimm, dark. But no, you think it's going to go in that direction, but it doesn't quite ever get there. It's like they give you just these little tiny bits of backstory, like somebody sat down and wrote a one-liner about each one of these characters, right? Like when it starts off with the whole, Reed being in the classroom and like demonstrating that this, like, number one, this dude is probably on the fucking spectrum, but number two, he actually is insanely smart and capable if he puts his mind to something. For me, that's what gives him the leg up immediately on all the other ones that we've seen here. Is like typically, and it could be kind of a sign of the times too. It's like the only way that they knew how to make the nerdy character somebody they could work with was to make him ineffective and awkward. In this movie, they do give him the quirks, and he is awkward, but he is also effective and competent. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I'm sure he couldn't figure out this fucking plot. But, I don't know that anybody could possibly do that. All that shit is immediately dropped, right? Like, you get Ben has this, like, really tragic childhood. They give you this dark as fuck thing where, like, the whole it's clobbering time came from, like, his older brother used to abuse him. Mm-hmm. And then that shit's just dropped.
It goes nowhere.
And then they expect you to cheer when he yells the shit at the end of the movie. You're like, but no.
That's a trauma response.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that just makes me sad. Like, don't say that, Ben.
This is him becoming his family.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah, Sue, once again, somehow... Really, Sue and Johnny get nothing here, other than that, they give her, she's from Russia. That's her little backstory piece.
One line of it.
Yeah.
Is Sue Storm actually from Russia?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that, but all right, whatever.
Did this one actually get closer to her power set?
Yeah, they didn't really utilize a whole lot of what she can do, but...
I didn't ask that.
Compared to the other movies, though, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, you look at Sue in the 05 movie, and, it's kind of the same bare bones things, except Sue couldn't fly in the 05 one for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. That's one point.
Yeah.
She wasn't very good at the force field, but...
No, but the budget didn't allow for her to be good at the force field.
Well, also, in this movie, we don't even get the training montage or whatever.
No, we don't.
We get a time skip, and then they're still really bad at their powers. and then magically about 40 minutes later, they're really good at them because they have to be.
Yeah, they got to get real good real fast.
So I remember talking about this as we were watching, and you made the joke that you knew I would say that. Is the first 30 minutes of the movie, while not great, I didn't see what the whole "it's the worst movie ever" thing about.
Yeah.
And then they get their powers, and everything just falls apart. And yeah.
That's kind of, to me, I think that is what makes this the worst one, is because, yes, like you said, like that first 20, 30 minutes, you're kind of like at the very beginning of it, you're like, oh, okay, we finally are going to get a good Fantastic Four movie. And then they slowly chip away at that until the part where they go to Earth Zero. Is that what they call it?
No, just
Planet Zero.
Planet Zero. From the moment that they do the teleport, the shit falls off a cliff after that.
It really does.
It's like Josh Trank, who, by the way, I think he made Chronicle and this, and then got like barred from Hollywood forever over this movie. But
I enjoyed Chronicle.
Chronicle was really good.
Yeah, Chronicle was really good.
That's why they gave him Fantastic Four.
And then he fucked it up.
Yeah, and then they've
With Michael B. Jordan as well.
yeah.
Oh yeah, he is in that.
well.
Yeah.
That movie made me want powers.
Same.
That makes me scared, Dylan, because I think you wanted powers from Dane DeHaan's character.
I wouldn't do it the same way. See, he did it in a dumb way.
Wait, the Green Goblin's powers?
Well, yeah.
Or was he the Hobgoblin in that technically? I don't
I think it's called him the Goblin.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
yeah, the same guy that wrote and directed Chronicle wrote and directed this. And it's almost like he got high as fuck one night and wrote the first 30 minutes and then woke up the next morning and just hung the fuck over. It's like, oh, God, I got to finish the movie today. And then he's like, shit. And then just he started scribbling down some stuff.
yeah, Doom is gonna do this for no reason, and yeah, team battle.
This movie once again demonstrates that putting Doom in a first Fantastic Four movie is just not a good idea.
Would you say that it dooms it?
Shut up.
Fine. Everybody gets one. Yes. This Doom is awful, but you know what? Let's take it from the top here with this movie. It does start off with a pretty interesting tone, like we mentioned earlier already. It starts off with a very young Reed Richards, who's giving a presentation in class about what he wants to do when he grows up, and you know the other kids we can assume gave more reasonable responses.
Like boring people.
Reed said he wanted to teleport some shit to another place, and the teacher completely ruined his dream, shattered them, shut him down, and said, "Come back with something that's real, not this fantasy bullshit." And then there's a young Ben Grimm also in the same class who apparently needs glasses because this kid is squinting so hard.
Very hard, like unnaturally hard.
If he did, do you think that family would get him glasses?
Probably
No.
not.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Undiagnosed.
Yeah, but it is after this that we go to a scene with young Ben, and he's at home. And Caleb put it perfectly. Like the brother does look like he's going just to 8 Mile.
Yeah,
He's very much got a Marshall Mathers look to him.
Yeah, and like even just like the look of the junkyard that they work at, or the scrapyard, or whatever. It's all very
I think
much
it's where they live.
Yeah, it's where
Yeah.
they live. Yeah,
And it looks like Eminem probably has shot a video there.
for
at
sure.
least one.
Yeah. And he even had like on the wife beater.
The only thing missing was this, like maybe bleach his hair or something.
Yeah. He's working on it. He's saving up
That's
the
right.
$7 for that.
Oh, I get it. He's Stan.
Oh, yeah. Stan Grimm.
And Brandon. Oh no. Oh, but poor little Ben. His household isn't the greatest. He does have a brother that abuses him.
And then a mom who abuses his brother for abusing him.
Yep. And it's just, and again, like, this is a weird thing to put in a Fantastic Four movie as it is.
Especially if you're never going to talk about it again.
That makes it even worse.
Yeah.
It's never brought up ever again.
There's a lot of big-lipped alligator moments in this. Sorry, that is an old term. Where did I get that from? It was a different video, but a person calls an event like this because sorry, small rabbit hole here. All dogs go to heaven. You seen it?
Yeah.
In one of them, there's a massive big-lipped alligator that comes out and like saves him. And that shit is weird as shit, and it's never talked about after it's done. It just shows up, weird as fuck, never brought up again. So that's the big-lipped alligator moment.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I think that was the Nostalgia Critic that said that. I don't know if he's still doing videos. Anyway, that was years and years old. Sorry about that.
It's all right. We got the throwback crew now.
True.
That's right.
The next scene, well, no, because we go to the part where like they... Or Ben goes out to the junkyard because there's a noise.
Dogs are barking.
Yep. Not his feet, but literal dogs are barking.
His feet could be too.
They could be.
Yeah, we don't know.
And
He probably walked home.
Reed is in the back of this car in this scrapyard. And he says that he's trying to get some kind of
Power converter, yeah.
power converter. And he's in the back.
I wonder if he meant to go to Tashi Station.
Nothing. That sounds vaguely. I don't know where it's going with
It's
all
a Star Wars joke.
It is a Star Wars joke, and Ace, I think, got it.
That actually reminds me. I'm gonna rabbit hole us here just a second. There was a clip that we had posted a while back where I referred to the planet where the Ewoks live,
back up.
of Endor, as the teddy bear planet. And the people on the internet got very upset with me for referring to it that way. However, I was watching the Industrial Light and Magic documentary the other night, and George Lucas himself was talking to the concept designer, and he was like, they talked about how George Lucas wanted the guy like to make them like, and I quote, little teddy bears. Exactly. So straight from the creator's mouth, suck it. Anyway.
This is coming from the guy who thought it was a good idea to sell it to Disney.
It was a good idea. We don't have time to talk about that, though.
We also don't have time to talk about, like, all of the crazy shit that, like, that the people say on our clips. It's crazy, man, because, like...
I just want to have one that, like, makes them that angry.
Oh, well...
Just say controversial shit.
It always happens on accident, you know? Like, it never happens on purpose.
I'm not going to try. I just want it to happen one day.
Like, well, I posted one about us talking about what if Chris Nolan directed a Marvel movie.
Ooh.
Boy, howdy, that shit got a hand real quick.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Real fucking quick. And yeah, so I got my phone set to where it doesn't ping whenever, like, there's, like, a like or a reaction. I just have it set to, like, it pings whenever, like, people comment.
Was this on TikTok? This happened?
Yeah. And the people on YouTube were cool about it. The people on TikTok... That shit just got so fucking out of hand. Like, they started having arguments amongst themselves about...
The comment section just might as well be forums.
Might as well be. Cause, like,
That's amazing.
It started off so cool and calm. People were like, oh, man, well, I think it'd be cool if he did a Silver Surfer movie. Or I think it'd be cool if he did the X-Men. And then, you know, because, like, in that clip I referenced, you know, because of his work on Inception, that, you know, Doctor Strange would be a really cool movie.
Oh God, that would be. Yeah. I would enjoy that.
And then people started referencing like Interstellar, and then they started talking about the science of Interstellar.
Oh wow, they rabbit holed themselves
real bad. And I was like,
that's amazing.
Yeah, I was like, I don't have the energy to deal with this right now.
Just let them go. Let them have at it. That's kind of what we do on this podcast.
Yep.
Yeah, I just realized after saying forums that I'm not sure everybody who listens to these knows what forums are.
Oh, Dylan, why'd you say that?
Because I do not want to suffer that alone.
Homies, forums is kind of like Reddit.
It's almost exactly like Reddit. Just before Reddit.
Yeah.
And worse.
You know, I know we're already in the rabbit hole here.
Gonna go another one?
We'll go down into another one real quick.
All right, Alice, bring it home.
You know, I hear you say things about The Last of Us on here,
Which one?
and I believe, and Ace, and I believe you, but somehow Reddit thought that I wanted to see a post from a Last of Us, the subreddit, yesterday, and I started looking at that shit, and it's like some long ass like 6 paragraphs post, and And it started out with like, oh yeah, so I avoided the second game for all these years because I heard it was super controversial. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. And then it's like, and then I finally played it, and let me tell you, and then the whole rest of it was like just heaping praise onto this game.
Oh my god!
And then I look at it, and there's like 200 comments. I'm like, oh, bet they tore this dude a fucking new one. Let me go scroll through here, and I was like, no. 11 out of 10 masterpiece, absolute. Okay, and like I just kept scrolling, and I'm like, are all these people simultaneously like being hypnotized by Neil Druckmann? Like, did he put some subliminal shit in there?
Pretty much. And again, like talking about people flaming in the comment section, I was so hesitant to post clips of us talking about The Last of Us Part 2 because I knew what that would do.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them.
Did it blow up?
Surprisingly, I think it mostly hit the people that it was intended to.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there were a few people who were reasonable, like, well, I don't understand. Why don't you like the second game? And I was like, I don't have time to discuss all this. But I think the one most recently that just got me scratching my head the most was when we were talking about toxic fandoms and about how there's toxic positivity in fandoms. And about how it's crazy to say that everything post-in-game is trash. It's crazy to say that everything post-in-game is amazing. That should be such a nothing burger of a statement. Like that should be something that is, well, yeah, of course. There are some things that are really good. There's some things that are trash. Boy, howdy, I forgot the internet's a real place.
That's like saying I'd like to play Mass Effect for the Mako.
And someone, like, out of all the comments, the one that stuck out to me the most, and the one that almost had me respond, I didn't.
Ooh.
Was someone said, "Oh, everything posted in game is trash." They said like Eternals, like Quantum Mania, 11 Thunder, all trash. And I was halfway through typing, I was like, Guardians 3, Spider-Man No Way Home, like X-Men 97. I was like, it's not worth it.
Yeah, just delete it all. You just delete it all and just put your phone down and go back to whatever you're doing.
Just let them blow the hot air.
Go back to failing to parry in Expedition 33.
Ooh, don't.
That's me.
Yeah. But you know what?
Eventually.
I think I would rather watch the movie we watched tonight than have to watch fucking Last of Us 2 again. So,
brother, yeah.
I still haven't finished it.
Because that shit just makes you actively angry the whole time.
I watched the first episode.
Yeah.
And that's where I stopped. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even... Like, I have not played the second game yet, and I don't plan to. And I think I'm not going to finish this season. And I'll just be okay with it.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
I might circle back. I just have no drive to.
Yeah, well, the viewership definitely shows that there are people out there who weren't on board with this, which goes back to another clip that we posted. Surprise, surprise, this controversial game that was adapted as a TV show is also controversial. Like, who would have thought?
And there's people mad about that one too?
Oh yeah, people like, well, wait, like this show is a masterpiece, or...
Season 1 was.
Yeah. Or the game is actually really great. People don't understand it. Yeah, it's the same talking points.
Oh, God.
Anyway, speaking of talking points, Ben and Reed do some talking. What is this power converter that they get?
That's like a fucking transformer.
That's a transformer, 100% a transformer.
Yeah,
I don't know why that was in a car fucking junkyard.
Yeah, where did he steal that from?
I still think they just took it off pole.
Yeah, I think they just fucked up somebody's power. Well, actually, right after that, they fucked up everybody's power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably should have died right there.
How did they not go to like juvie at least?
Something should have. Well,
maybe they couldn't.
Time jump.
Well, maybe no one could track the power shortage. It was the 90s.
True, it was the late 90s. As a matter of fact, it might have been the 2000s still, because it's a 7-year time jump, and that brings them to 2014. Then we get another year time jump that puts them at 2015.
Oh,
so theoretically,
well, either way,
yeah, this movie isn't smart enough for us to be talking about the time.
Yeah, I know, that's right.
How many of those N64s do you think he was using to do the compute for this? How many were on that rack?
It looked like he had, would you say 12 to 18?
I didn't even notice him. I'll be honest.
I didn't either.
Let's just say that he had 20, right?
How much money is that in that year times?
No, I wasn't going for money. That would have been expensive as fuck, but I was going for actual computing power. And those N64s all combined, if they were as efficient as today's shit, and they weren't, would have been equal to a single 1.8 gigahertz core. And he was trying to do quantum calculations with that shit.
Oh yeah,
I think it worked fine. You said quantum.
Yeah, I did say quantum, and they said quantum.
Yeah.
So really, I don't know why we were asking any questions after the word
That's a fair
quantum
point.
appeared on the screen.
that's a fair point.
That's true. Yeah. Any questions you guys have, just quantum.
Quantum.
Yeah, so they quantum their little asses right into Reed's garage and then shut down the whole fucking block when they turn this machine on that is supposed to teleport something. It does teleport the toy car.
I'm going to be honest. Up until Powers, which I know I'm skipping forward a little bit. Up until Powers, Ben was my favorite character. Because he was the most realistic out of everybody.
Yeah.
He always had the most, hold up a fucking minute reaction to Reed.
Well, the only real on-screen chemistry in this entire movie is between Reed and Ben before the powers. And honestly, once they go to the Baxter building, Ben is not in the fucking movie again.
Yeah.
Until they go get the powers.
Which is so dumb.
Oh, it's incredibly dumb. And again, guys, because of the way that they get their powers, they don't need a pilot. So there's no reason for them to have Ben. So the way they get Ben there is so contrived.
He calls him in the middle of the night.
Reed
He tells the guard at the front door to this fucking top secret lab.
Not Jimmy.
If it was Jimmy, that shit wouldn't happen.
Yeah, if it was Jimmy, he would have been like, that motherfucker can't come in here. And he would have just fucking Palpatine that motherfucker out back through the door. Because Jimmy O'Houlihan is on the job, motherfuckers. Nah, this was some goddamn Paul Blart fucking rent-a-cop. And
I don't even know if you saw him on scene.
no, you see him. He's sitting behind a desk, and he doesn't say a fucking thing.
And you just see Reed go, he's with me. And that makes it okay.
This random kid who's been there for less than a week comes down to the front desk, drunk as fuck, at 2 o'clock in the morning, and is like, he's with me, and that's it. And then
I do feel that there was
secret
a
clearance.
little more time than a week, but
Even then,
I still agree. There's security and protocol that was not followed, and this security guard probably should be fired.
Oh, for sure.
if he's alive.
I mean, look at what Jimmy did to protect the integrity of being a doorman.
Motherfucker MVP.
MVP.
Yeah, Jimmy got fucking obliterated and shotgunned through the goddamn Baxter building.
And still showed
Justice
up
for
the
Jimmy,
next
by
day.
the way.
Justice for Jimmy. And you're right, Dylan. He still showed up to work.
hashtag justice for Jimmy.
Fuck, I'm gonna have to get that damn shirt.
But before we get to them getting their powers, let's talk about. I want to talk about Doom because.
Do we have to?
Unfortunately.
Oh, don't you mean Timu Dean Winchester?
Oh my goodness.
Fucking Kylo Borat.
I can see the Kylo Borat more than I can see the Timu, the Winchester, but
It's like he was like, how should I address this character, Josh Trank? Josh Trank just gave him a sheet of paper like this in 72 font that said angst. And he just handed it to him.
Angst.
I'll be honest. This is including every live action interpretation of Dr. Doom. This is the worst.
By far.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
No.
First off, this motherfucker at one time even represents Latveria.
it's another one of those on papers.
Yeah.
The motherfucker looks like he
Paper
straight stepped off of the set of Vampire Diaries. For real. This dude just does not.
He'd even be bad on Vampire Diaries.
I think he would either way. But still.
He does. He looks like the CW just rejected him for whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
he doesn't even really seem that smart.
No.
He fucking he offers other teenagers. I don't even know what his fucking age is. A very small flask of alcohol
That all three of them get shit faced off of. He must have had some dwarven firewater in there.
Yes, he did.
The way he does it looks like straight out of a fucking Dare video. Mm-hmm. I've never
After school special.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody offer fucking a drink like that.
Just Just shaking it at people. Like, what the fuck?
After whistling and opening it. Like, that's not inconspicuous at all, dude. He fucking has two whole emotions, one of which is bothered. The other is sad. You said he gets mad later. I didn't even see it.
I didn't see mad. I just saw bothered the whole time.
Well, he doesn't have the facial expression to go with it, but I figured the whole exploding people's
No, when
heads.
he was gimp face, he was just bothered.
Oh, okay, I figured that counted for angry when he was exploding people's
No,
face.
like there was no anger there. It was just I'm annoyed with you. Your head's gonna explode.
Just,
That's fair. All right, so just the two then. I stand corrected.
Yeah, this Dr. Doom has none of the flair, none of the charisma, none of the pizzazz.
and he didn't even at least do weird hand motions.
I don't think this dude is really in anything that...
Tony Kebbell, right?
I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
He looks like I've seen him somewhere else.
Toby Kebbell.
Yeah, Toby Kebbell.
He played... I don't know who he played in the Warcraft movie, but...
Isn't that a Warcraft movie? What the fuck?
Yeah, and he's also in a couple of the Matt Reeves Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah, this wasn't his best outing, you know. No disrespect, but he's no Jimmy O'Houlihan.
He's not.
I'll be honest, I don't remember him in any of these other movies, so, I mean, he seems to have been just as forgettable there. Oh, he played Duratan in that movie. I never would have known that. Okay, great.
Yeah. Doom here is a failed student, Franklin Storm. You know, the father of Johnny and Sue. And apparently he broke like a lot of really severe laws and rules in that place.
Like setting their servers on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He fucking played Duratan?
Yeah.
Sorry, that just...
Well, he's just barely in that movie. And there's no way he did the mocap because that orc has facial expression.
Yeah, sorry.
God damn.
and it must have been more than bothered or sad.
There was anger.
Yeah, he was angry.
See?
Yeah.
So Franklin, he decides to bring back in Doom because he needs his specific mind and brilliance to help
Except
bring
he doesn't do shit.
He don't really do shit.
So I want someone at the table to tell me
Can I leave the table?
something about Franklin's character in this movie.
May I be excused?
That I recognized him from Airheads. That's it.
No. Something about the character, though. Like, anything at all. Because he is just a plot device.
He was a subpar father.
Was he, though?
I assume. They didn't show anything worse.
Yeah, he's just
He
here
was
to
physically there.
he's just here to move the plot along.
And
Yeah,
I
like
just,
he's just that the DM's favorite NPC, but no one understands.
Yeah.
And so he just keeps throwing them at him until they finally try to, and then it's like, oh well, it's time to kill him now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say but the DM would have to be bad for that, but I looked at the rest of the movie
Yeah.
mentally.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just a bad DM story.
Shitty DM's favorite NPC. And all four of the players, like, someone else made their characters for them and they didn't read the sheet.
Yeah.
And
And then when it gets to the fight at the end of the
DM
movie,
made it.
they're like, so it's your turn. What do you do? And they're like, fuck.
Shit, I have 2 pages?
I can make a force field. Okay, I turn invisible and fly at the bad guy.
I can't turn the fire off for some reason.
Yeah, the DM's like legendary action. They're like another one.
Yeah.
Shit, I've said that though. To him.
The one really annoying character is the first time that he's ever played D&D. He's like, how do I turn the fire off? And the DM's like, there's a button on your wrist. He's like, I pressed the button on my wrist.
It's not working.
You gotta say flame on or off.
It's a command word.
Command word.
Oh no.
And then there's that one dude who just made a rock.
Yeah.
No, I think the DM handed each of them their character sheets.
Yeah. Yeah, but they weren't allowed to read them before the session.
And so it's like, wait, I'm a rock?
That's why he's just angry.
He's like, yes, you're a rock. What do you do? Please, somebody
stand
help
there,
me.
I
I can't
guess.
move.
Well, no, you can walk around. I'm a fucking rock. What do you mean?
I want to see the scenes they cut from this movie. I want to see the deleted scene.
I'm not sure I do.
I don't.
I want to see the things that Josh Trank looked at and went, nah, that can't be in my movie.
Well, we do know that he did a lot of really intense rewrites on this movie.
You don't say. I don't know why that got him that mad.
I would love to see.
What was your tone?
Yeah, I would love to see what that original script looked like.
Honestly, based on the first chunk of the movie, it probably would have been a much better movie.
Probably.
Or at least a more consistent, a much better movie.
Yeah.
You gotta wonder if there was like studio interference, right? Like if maybe he put together the first 20 minutes of this and they went, oh, this is like boring character stuff. People want to see them use their abilities. They need to get their powers right now.
Yeah, and
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but didn't studio interference end up with like the other 3 movies?
Well, the studio, I don't think said a fucking thing about the '94 movie.
They're like, you're not releasing it, so it's going to go in our vault. And that's
I count that as interference.
That's fair.
That's true. It not coming out, maybe it's the biggest interference.
Yeah, they were like, well,
I'm
just
not saying
can't.
they were wrong. I'm just saying it technically interfered.
Yeah, you just can't come out with it. But yeah, I mean, the studios, like, it was very commonplace at this point for the studios to come in and try to make everything more palpable for a casual audience. Clearly, it didn't fucking work with this movie because it didn't make any money.
Also, clearly, they didn't realize how many fucking nerds there were.
That is definitely something that Fox lagged really behind on. Is like they made the first X-Men in like 2000, and then everybody was like, Fox cracked the superhero movie or whatever. And it was fine in 2000 to treat everyone like they never heard of the fucking X-Men before. And they still, to an extent, didn't even do that because the cartoon had been so popular. But they definitely fell behind the times. Like, by the time that, like, the Nolan trilogy had come out and, like, the MCU had debuted, they
didn't upgrade the product.
Yeah, they failed to understand the new assignment. They were still working off the old playbook. And then somehow, like 7, 8, 9 years later, they were still working off the old playbook.
Yeah. It's true. So at that point, they were really coasting off of Wolverine, fucking keep us alive, please.
Yep.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, and honestly, that was it. Wolverine, then Deadpool.
Well, Deadpool.
Till you're 90.
Deadpool also got canned. Like, Fox originally blocked that from happening. They were like, audiences will not understand this.
Yeah.
And Deadpool made fucking 4 times what this movie made.
Oh, yeah.
On a smaller budget.
Yeah. On a way smaller budget. Way
I
smaller.
didn't realize
budget.
they tried to block it.
Yeah. Like, Ryan Reynolds leaked the footage to the internet. Mm-hmm. And the fan outrage was so much that Fox greenlit the movie. Because they shot some, like, test footage and everything. And then they were like, no, we're not going to fucking make this. And Ryan Reynolds was like, fuck you guys. And so he just, like, put it on YouTube.
What did you...
They need to do a doc on that movie one day because like
Oh,
the
I
shit
would
that
love
they
it.
did to get it out. Like Ryan Reynolds, he took like basically virtually like one of the only suits that he had at that time for the Deadpool, and he used that suit to go do promos. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I mean like he just did whatever. He
I
had
love
to
this
do.
Christmas promo. That was one of my favorites.
I don't know if I saw that one.
They spent almost nothing on the advertising. Like, Ryan Reynolds basically had to sell the movie himself. They cut the shit out of the budget, which is why Deadpool had to leave all his guns, in the car. In the third act, yeah, because they literally ran out of money.
Yep.
So
That's hilarious.
They played it off really well.
yeah,
Yeah, it was seamless.
That was some shit he would probably
He would
do.
fucking do that. It's like, fuck.
I left all my guns. yeah. Like Fox literally fought really hard to keep their own like best franchise in a while from coming out. So
Yeah.
Well, they tried to kill it before it even started.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like it's crazy. Like we could do a whole episode about like the stupidity of Fox Studios.
I think we are.
I think we have an episode about that.
We kind of do, and we kind of are.
And this episode can be.
Inadvertently, I feel like this might be a runner for most didn't want to talk about the fucking movie.
Bruh, like this movie has a total runtime of 1 hour and 39 minutes. That's with credits.
It feels forever.
So
It
much
felt like
longer.
2 hours.
Oh boy,
Like the first before they go get the powers feels like an hour, and after they go get the powers feels like another 2 hours.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say 3.
I don't know, dog.
It may not feel girthy, but it feels lengthy.
The scene at the end, where what they thought was going to be the fucking zinger, where they super awkwardly try to get to the name of the team that everyone knew before they sat down in the theater. Oh my god, that scene is so awkward and long.
I think that. Sorry, we kind of derailed from what you were saying earlier. It's gone? Okay, cool.
Oh, well.
Which thing? We derailed a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
This was about the movie, though. I just didn't want to make sure that I wasn't like completely killing a train of thought you wanted to finish.
Well, you can't now.
Yeah. I think the thing I hate the most about this movie is that they're not a fucking team.
Not even
close. They're not
close.
a team. They're not a family. They're not fucking friends.
No.
The most you get is during the building of the machine. There's a small scene where Doom, Sue, Johnny, and Reed are sitting around eating dinner, and they look like they're laughing.
They have the scene where they get drunk for 20 seconds.
But, and again, that's not even the people who are...
Yeah.
Sue's not even in that.
Neither is Ben.
And neither is Ben. Like, Ben is not even in this part. Like, how is he supposed to be part of this team?
Right.
Ben's barely in this movie.
And then
I
also,
know, and it pisses me off.
We get zero banter between Johnny and Ben, and that's a crime in and of itself.
I know.
There's
You get one line.
You get
at
one
the very
line.
end.
Yeah. And it's
And
still
honestly, it kind of just felt like Johnny was being an ass.
Yeah.
Like, not even funny.
Right.
Not a single fireball was thrown at Ben's head.
No.
No, there's no chemistry at all between any of the characters in this movie. Like we said, other than the Reed and Ben before they go get the powers, and this is maybe 6 minutes of screen time maximum.
Yeah.
So they go to Planet Zero, they get the powers. The
First
movie
off,
falls apart.
with Planet Zero, like, immediately, I'm over here like, okay, they just stuck the flag in the ground.
The CGI
The CGI flag, which made no fucking sense.
Well, see, we don't have flags.
Right, my bad. And it cracks the ground.
Yep.
And green glows out of it.
And immediately, they're like, let's go investigate.
Let's go down this cliff.
Down a cliff. Not like, let's walk down this hill.
Not a small cliff.
Like
a big fucking cliff.
Like, literally, when he says that the story falls off the edge of a cliff, it quite literally does.
It climbs down it.
Yeah. The guy that's supposed to be reckless AF that does street racing and shit is like, nah, bruh, I'm not going down there.
Which
and
honestly makes kind of sense when you really think about it. Because he's like, look, I might be a dumbass. I'm not that fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Nobody even yells at Victor to be like, hey, dog, don't touch that shit.
Also, he's kind of the one pushing them to go forward.
Yeah.
Like, creepy, edgy motherfucker is just like, like he can breathe the air there. You're in a suit. Sorry, that irritated me when it happened. I didn't say it. And he just like climbs down and goes and fucks with the green shit. And no one's like, hey, bud, 3 fucking steps back.
He really just touched the river Styx and, like, was, that's a good idea.
And apparently, whatever it is, the necroplasm or whatever is extremely fucking volatile.
To doodling.
Yeah, because he diddled that shit, and then it started to erupt like a fucking volcano.
And then the earth, well, not the earth, the ground did. Like, all the way up to their fucking little spaceship thing. That's not a spaceship.
Their spaceship thing that totally wouldn't have been where they landed it because of all the jostling and...
Yeah, because it moved quite a bit, so why would it go back to...
I mean, it just did this, though.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You can tell the effects.
Yeah, it was like a Universal Studios attraction,
Yeah,
just kind of,
And also, like, so, I mean, I know, obviously, space-time butthole. I get it.
That's not until later.
This is just a space butthole.
Yeah.
Space
not
butthole.
time.
My bad.
International butthole.
But later, when they use the machine, it doesn't drop exactly where it's meant to be. Like, the same spot.
Well, you see with rotations and
No, like listen. I get that science,
Don't
but
say you get that. That was bullshit.
Science, bitch.
Quantum.
quantum, exactly. Goddamn quantum.
Yeah, you're right.
All I'm saying is, like, at least have some rules for your space butthole. Like, at least a little bit.
Again, we weren't at the space butthole yet.
You can't just let these space buttholes run around and do whatever they want. You
Yeah.
gotta have rules.
And
you gotta have
regulations.
structure.
Yeah.
Well, technically, the space butthole was the only like teleporting thing that kind of did have rules and structure.
I mean, we're playing real. That's a real fast and loose butthole.
Compared to the rest of this movie.
Which
Like,
might
no-
be everybody's favorite kind.
So, like, the movie was barely holding it together at this point. But by the time Victor gets the goo
Was
on him,
Was it still holding it together?
I said barely. By the time Victor gets the goo on him and he
The goo
fucking
on me.
dissolves and
Yeah, it
falls,
starts to fucking melt.
and falls into the abyss, you are forgiven for thinking that okay, he's fucking dead, and he should be.
Also, I said it at the time of the movie. I am kind of curious. If that were to happen, would you let that motherfucker go?
Oh yeah.
Because that green shit's coming towards my hand.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell all of you now. If we are ever in a interdimensional situation like this,
First off, we're not going down a cliff
Yeah,
for no
fuck that.
fucking reason.
yeah, and if any of you are dumb enough to touch the primordial goop, and then it explodes, and then the shit gets all over you, I am leaving you there.
Yeah.
My bad. I warned you now.
I'm
Peace
gonna be
out.
honest. If the four of us were in that situation, and then for some reason, sorry, you wouldn't, but let's say Oz got real fucking, he failed his wisdom save and starts going, "Hey guys, we need to go down this cliff," and be like, "I'm leaving you.
Yeah,
I'm getting
right.
back in this bitch. I'm leaving."
Dylan's leaving you before you get covered in the.
Let's
in
face
the
it, I'd be the
plasma.
one to do it.
Like, hey, you want to go look at the green shit? I'm like, "Do you want to go look at the green shit?"
Yeah. I mean, like, and also when I leave, I'm also making sure that no one is coming back here. Because I'm destroying this machine as soon as I get back out of there.
Oh yeah.
And I
Technically, the machine did get destroyed.
yeah, I got fucked up.
That's true.
But if this ever were to happen, you better make sure I don't know how to pilot that goddamn machine. And I'm not going through without knowing how to pilot it. So,
So
even if all three of you leave, I'm gonna be like, "Bye."
Deuce.
So note to
Blackberry.
self, if we ever go on an interdimensional trip, make sure Dylan doesn't know how to fucking pilot the ship.
I'll figure it out.
Tell Ace not to touch the goo and don't bring us.
See, yeah, bold of you to think you need to tell me not to touch anything.
Right?
Bold of you to think that I would even want to go.
That's true. You probably wouldn't.
No,
Yeah, no, you wouldn't.
no.
Now, what if we saw a meteor hit the ground and create a little tunnel that's glowing a little bit?
Does it lead to some big ass titties?
I can't say it doesn't.
Or is it like a Narnia thing?
I was making a
A chronicle joke.
chronicle joke.
Yeah, I know. They left the titties back in the other dimension.
I'm staying in the dimension with the titties.
There you have it, folks.
Yeah.
It's cut and dry.
Yeah.
Cut and dry with Ace.
Come on.
I can't argue with your logic.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah,
It's like how our anticipated score for Jurassic World Rebirth shot to the roof.
All the way up.
All the way up.
Every time I count Scarlett Johansson out, she finds a way to bring it back in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. There's a reason that, she was like the highest paid actress that one year.
Yeah. So the tremendous trio, they get back in the space shuttle. They don't have Victor with them, and they make it back to Earth dimension.
Wasn't there actually a Fantastic 3 comic for a while because Johnny Storm died or something?
Yeah, Johnny Storm. He was super dead for a while.
Yeah.
Is that part of the licensing thing?
Actually, no.
No, this was.
Oh shit!
It's just storyline.
Yeah, just later.
Why do they keep doing them dirty like that?
I think that art sold pretty well though, didn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it did.
Did it have the robot?
Herbert, he was probably in the background somewhere. He wasn't. He wasn't the main character.
I just remember seeing the big ass 3 on the cover or whatever. It was well done.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of guest stars and shit too, right?
Oh, they did. And then
Yeah.
later on, they were all replaced by it was temporarily. It was Spider-Man at one point.
Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
Who else? It was just a random hodgepodge of characters you would never expect.
That would make money.
Yeah. that kind of took the Fantastic Four spot for a while. Yeah. They go back to Earth Dimension and Sue, her snitch ass.
Immediate.
Yeah, she snitched immediately. By the way.
She
I do
actually
hate her.
snitched on them as they left.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do hate her, but at the same time, this is the one instance where I can kind of see maybe... Because they did just talk about how that could, like, make a black hole that would just destroy all of Earth.
I mean, hey, look, bro.
She's still a bitch. Just kind of understand this one.
I don't, like, hate Sue in this movie.
She's...
This is definitely the only movie where she's competent at all. Like, her character actually, for the most part, is pretty sound. Like,
she's bland.
She is bland as fuck.
She's very bland. She has all.
She gives off Brita energy to me.
She does kind of have some Brita energy.
She has the same personality traits as Plank from Ed and Eddie.
Hey! Don't you insult Plank?
My bad. Yeah.
So Brita from the Community.
Another Community.
Yeah, that's the second.
Tonight,
yeah.
I thought you meant The Filter.
No.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Getting rid of the Brita.
You're getting rid of the B. You should definitely watch Community.
I've been told many times. It's on
especially for Abed.
somewhere in there. I've watched an episode or two and it didn't catch my interest. So
that's weird.
Speaking of things that didn't catch your interest,
Fantastic Four.
Fan4stic.
They have their superpowers now, and they wake up in vague government facility.
And the genre of the movie changes a third time.
I will say, I think out of all the movies, this one portrayed them getting their powers in a way I liked the most. Because that shit wouldn't be that shit would not be, oh tee-hee, I now have this. Granted, the 05 one wasn't terrible. You know?
Yeah.
They had reactions, but like, no, that shit would be terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that is true. But this is also where like they start to take some radical changes again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, for example, none of them seem to have really, truly any control over their powers.
Like at all.
Yeah.
Like even in resting state.
And not even a year later.
Yeah.
Like, I could understand it like at first, obviously.
Sure. Like, but if they, like, after the year, they have control now. Like, just skip the training montage. Sure.
Control, you know.
Yeah, something.
Yeah,
A
instead.
year's kind of a long time.
Yeah, and instead they just give them suits that allowed them to control their powers.
Well, and so, like, Reed is able to control his without his suit later, like at the very end.
He's even kind of able to after the 1 year.
Yeah, yes.
No, he's still using a homemade suit that he made.
I said kind of, but he's able to change his whole facial structure.
That is true.
That's controlling power.
That is true.
But he's got a suit on, though.
Yeah.
He's got the suit on that he made.
Yeah. I'm not saying that he doesn't use the suit. I'm not saying he doesn't have it as a crutch. I'm saying he has at least some control because for a whole conversation, he had his face entirely changed.
Well, I mean, with the suit, though, like, Sue and Johnny can control their stuff pretty
I'm just saying, his suit doesn't touch his face.
That's true. But I think it's more of like an energy regulation type thing.
Yeah.
For them, but I don't think his is. I think his is literally just a whole bunch of elastics to keep his fucking limbs in him. Because he's got like springs and shit. And I'm pretty sure those are just elastic fucking cables.
I have this feeling that nobody in the design team thought about
any of this.
Yeah.
No, not a single bit.
Yeah.
We have put more effort in.
Yeah, I mean, it like Sue and Johnny basically without the suits have no control whatsoever over their abilities.
Yeah.
Ben, who in all the other movies has the hardest time with it, he for like 3 days is like, man, fuck, I'm a rock. And then after that, he's like, but I could be a soldier rock. And then he just goes... He starts clobbering
time.
Which they had to promise Ben, like, hey, you do this for us, we promise you we're working on the cure. Because otherwise, they have no leverage over Ben.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to agree to do anything.
Yeah, well, and that is what they tell him.
I think there's like that one scene with Buster Scruggs that just it made no sense at all. But at the same time, like he agreed to join the armed forces.
And by the way, they also keep this super vague. We don't know who they're fighting or for what purpose. Doesn't matter, I guess.
He is fighting them though.
Yeah.
He's fighting them.
Like he did rip off the head of a tank.
He did.
A few times, I think.
And the
he got no
unfortunate...
pants.
No pants.
Yeah. No
you
pants.
can see his ass crack the whole time.
the unfortunate thing about this is even up to as late as like the last trailers they released for this movie, there is actually footage of him on a battlefield, and he's like running through wrecking shit, and then that is never in the movie.
I thought it was gonna say with pants on.
No pants at any point. But like,
I missed the pants.
There's a significant portion of like this movie that was like in the trailers that showed all these like Fantastic Four action shots and stuff, and none of them are in the final film.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I said this while we were watching the movie, but this movie feels like an anti-Fantastic Four because at no point, like you said earlier, Dylan, do they ever feel like a cohesive team or family. And that's what the Fantastic Four are all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's like, besides the fact that this movie is heartless, and if anything else, a Fantastic Four movie has to be full of heart, the fact that they don't work as a team or a unit or even have that kind of chemistry is the other biggest sin of this thing.
I mean, they sort of work together at the end, but even that felt forced.
Well, it's like
and not
this.
even in a good way.
Well, it's like this. Let's say that the four of us didn't know each other, and as soon as we walk out that door, there's a fucking crazy dude out there with a goddamn butter knife, but he sharpened that butter knife. Even if we don't know each other, we're gonna work together to take that motherfucker down so nobody gets fucking stabbed.
We are.
I love Dylan's face.
We are.
It feeds between us and the exit of the door.
See,
I'm with you, dog.
Okay.
But these two...
I'm not. I'm going out that window right there.
There is a fair chance I will help you. However, if I do not know you, and there is a moment I can get the fuck away,
Honestly,
I might be gone.
yeah, honestly, I'm going to be out there until he stabs one of you. And then I'm going to be like, and then I'm going to leave.
This was an experiment, and I learned a lot about my friendship tonight.
I don't know.
I don't know why it took this long.
Should have known before tonight.
That honestly, that is fair.
I said I would pull Ivy into this world. Like, what part of red flag do you not understand?
The part about you not letting me get fucking shanked to death.
I said I didn't know you in this.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you get shanked. I'm gonna help until if we go out there and the motherfucker's just some like crazy motherfucker just battered down your door and he fights like Cyril and like he can't actually fight, then yes, we're gonna beat his ass. Probably gonna stomp him and tell the cops he was like that when he showed up. But
You gonna stay for the cops?
well, yeah, I'm not gonna.
Listen, if y'all would stay for the cops, I'm going to jail.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. He's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. This guy broke into your house. We get him out and beat you up."
I tell you what, Ace, you just come back upstairs. I'll take care of it.
Again, I don't know any of you in this
Yeah,
instance.
think about this guy broke in here, hung up pictures of his family everywhere.
What kind of psychopath is this?
Yeah, put his comic books and shit all in here.
Right.
Start beating the shit out of you.
Recorded a whole goddamn podcast in here. Oh shit.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'll definitely stay and talk to the cops. I'll even stay to stomp the guy. But like, if the motherfucker just does like some fucking John Wick shit and takes out the first one of you that steps up, I'm going out that window.
I mean...
Like, if we walked outside, right, and he's at the bottom of the fucking stairs, and he ain't moving.
Well, see, now it's y'all problem.
Yeah, he's like, I don't gotta leave.
Because I ain't gonna leave my house.
Yeah.
I might be like, hey, yo, I know we just met. Can I, like, chill here until that motherfucker leaves?
See, that's different too, because like we would have the high ground.
Oh, yeah.
So.
All right, you go first then.
Hey, man, listen. If I jump down like 10 of them steps and drop kick that motherfucker, I don't care what he's got.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it. I ain't doing it.
That's true. That bump's gonna suck, but
Yeah, but me and him going to the hospital together. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't think that bump would hurt him as much as it would hurt you.
Oh, no, because when I hit, he going to be between me and the ground.
I see.
I'm gonna hit him with some
Unless you're doing something like a Goomba stomp drop kick, that's a different story.
I'm gonna hit him with some double knees.
Okay. Yeah. Some fucking Ong Bak shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know wrestling.
Yeah.
Ong Bak's actually a kung fu movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys all know wrestling, and you were talking about wrestling.
That's true. We were
that's true.
Like a meteor.
Fucking nerds. But that wrestling is something that nerds would enjoy. So this movie,
they get
Where
their
the fuck were
powers.
we?
I don't even know.
They got their powers, and they're in the
I don't think this
facility.
movie knows either.
Yeah,
We
and
get this body horror shit, which also another thing where you're like, oh, this might be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the scene with Reed was actually very creepy, and it scared me. I was like, "Holy fuck, dude!"
And this concept of like you're in this fucking crazy facility, you don't know what's going on with you. Your best friend, you don't know what the fuck happened to him. All you
hear
can do
him
is hear
yelling,
them
"Help."
through the vent yelling, "Help! Please, somebody help me!" Like that shit was all done really well, and then you're like, "Oh man, this shit's about to be like really fucking dark and crazy," and then once again we fall off another cliff.
yeah.
As he fell out that air vent.
Yeah.
Well, no, he didn't even fall. He just crawled through it.
Yeah,
and
he kinda-
you don't even see him get out.
No, you do.
You do. He punches the vent open and then he kind of
At the top.
go-gurts out of the.
That's why I said he falls out the vent. It's at the end of the vent, but he's
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that's how you
Pile.
escape a government facility.
And again, like
this government facility sucked.
if I'm in Ben's position, right, and one of you motherfuckers wake me up at 2:00 in the morning and talk me into getting into a interdimensional time teleporting bullshit MacGuffin, and then I turn into a fucking rock.
I'm gonna feel
You should close that door.
You should have closed that door.
Fucking door.
Honestly,
closed.
I think Ace can hold that door shut.
He's like, no, the fuck.
I'm gonna have rock hands.
Also, it makes no sense as to why those rocks flew at him like that.
It doesn't.
Also, it makes no sense why the fuck the door opened.
Yeah,
He had that shit closed.
because he had it closed, and then they just kind of show him struggling.
And where did
with
the
it.
fire come from? Did it just explode on the outside of the canister?
That was the reaction between the air and the MacGuffin thing.
Yeah, he got some MacGuffin dust in his channel,
fair.
and it turned him into a
You
fire
see,
monster.
The MacGuffin dust itself is exactly why Johnny doesn't have 30-degree burns on his face.
Yeah.
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 I feel like
Because honestly, I feel like he should look like Michael Jai White in Spawn.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like you, for a split second, you thought I was actually going to say some bullshit. Because you leaned in a little bit.
You say some bullshit?
Never.
Speaking of bullshit, so they're Fantastic Four. 3 of them are stuck in this facility. Reed takes one good look at his friend and goes, "Damn, dog, my bad."
I'll come back for you at 11.
He doesn't even say that shit.
Yeah, he just says, I'll find a way to fix you, which, to this movie's credit, is something that Reed Richards does say in the comics. Ben, I'm going to find a way to fix you.
But where on earth did any of that come into play?
Oh, no, never.
No.
Not saying bad. I don't even know if I'm going to be honest, fairly sure the government wasn't trying to.
He fucks off for a year, and then they find him. Reed never comes back for them.
Yeah.
He does admit he was, like, ashamed, and that's why he didn't come back.
Ashamed.
I mean, I guess, but like,
I'm not defending it. I'm just saying that's what they said.
yeah.
Yeah, he's been on the lam for a year in some South American country, I presume.
He's been emailing a shit ton of people through this one fucking email relay, though, apparently. And with his screen name after his favorite fucking book.
Which is dumb.
So dumb. God damn.
It's the dumbest smart person.
I feel like even our current government could have found him.
Yeah. They must not have wanted
Like, if you're going to do something like that, don't even go with your least favorite book. Go with something in the middle.
Or just choose something that you wouldn't choose.
Or just make it some dumb shit like red fire hydrant. I don't fucking know.
I mean, he knew that he told the person who's in charge of this thing, snitch ass daughter, about this.
And her snitch ass is the one who tracks him down.
Yeah. Also, is it me or like don't get me wrong, definitely on the spectrum, and I actually have that same thing where putting music on helps me think. But it almost felt like she had a second another superpower. Like,
We're talking about Sue, by the way.
Sue, yeah, like she just starts like super hyper focusing, and it was definitely like, I mean, I have been there. I have had those moments of clarity.
The power of autism.
Exactly. But it almost felt like they were trying to highlight that almost too much.
I kind of got a
This
similar
movie
vibe.
trying to highlight something too much?
Yeah, they really tried to, and I get it, right? Because Sue is intelligent.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that they completely miss. Sue is very fucking smart. Obviously, she doesn't have the same kind of genius as Reed, but she's very smart. But what she does have that Reed didn't have is emotional intelligence.
Not in this movie.
Which she does not have in this movie.
That is a very fair point. She was a bitch.
She's also, I just realized this, on the main cast, she is the only female in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a sausage fest, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. And that's even with Ben, his rock dick.
That he's like internationally slanging.
Rock sausage, if you will.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about his pebbles.
You've heard of rock salt? This is rock sausage.
That's right. Holy shit. So yeah, they track down Reed, and we get like a pretty interesting 12-second fight scene with Reed and some goons.
It might have been 20.
It might have been.
And then they're on a plane.
And they're on a plane. Yep.
Yeah, after Ben fucking just burnt.
Yep. Ben headbutts him, and
which I still don't think should work.
And the effect on that was awful. Like the actual like effect on the headbutt, you could tell that they just had him in front of a green screen.
Yep.
And were like, act like you get hit, and then whenever they animated the shit, it doesn't even connect.
No.
It's a terrible shot.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think every time he's on screen, my eyes just start to glaze over.
Who? Ben?
Yeah.
I mean, I actually like the design for Kaiju Ben.
He looks really cool.
Yeah,
but just like...
Yes, we knew you would hate Kaiju Ben.
What do you have against Kaijus?
I just don't like giant monsters.
Well, guess what's going to be like the cause of your death, Oz?
What?
A tiny monster.
I'm just curious. Is there like a reason?
I mean,
like a genuine reason?
I always felt like giant monsters are just cheesy, easy ways out of anything. So, yeah.
Is this from this resort from Power Rangers?
Power Rangers, Godzilla, just
its whole thing, but
okay.
Like I don't like giant robots either.
You don't like robots.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't like any size robot, to be honest.
That's true, unless it's R2-D2.
You know he's sentient, right?
Yeah. I was gonna say you should be the most terrified of that fucking murder bot.
He is a murder bot.
He is
a murder bot. I'm aware, but he's the only one I don't
Just fucking sending souls to wherever they go, left, right, and center.
Fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi was terrified to snitch on that motherfucker. He's like, no, I don't ever recall owning a droid before.
Never did.
I hate robots.
In the back of his mind, he's like, how did Anakin's fucking murder robot find me here?
And that motherfucker was powered off for I don't know how many years, and all of a sudden he sensed that motherfucker. Hey, what's up?
yeah. Hey, dog. Hey.
You know what? Screw fucking Jar Jar Sith. No, it's R2-D2 Sith.
You know, Jar Jar Binks would have felt out of place in this movie because he would have had too much character.
That segue was about as tactful as this movie is.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm just saying, this movie would have been a lot better with Jar Jar Binks in it, and I never said that before.
You're saying too much. You're saying too much,
What are you doing over here, bud? You look like you're tensing more and more every moment.
I'm cooling.
So, all right. So
Where are we?
They get Reed back to the lab, and we're about to skip forward here because from this point the movie falls off another fucking cliff when they get Reed back to the lab, because they very quickly make fucking MacGuffin Transporter 2.
There are too many MacGuffins in this movie.
Electric Boogaloo.
And MacGuffin Transporter Quantum
Don't make me
Boogaloo
like it more.
Spaceball 2 takes the scientists over, and they very, very quickly are encountered by Hot Topic CW Doom.
With his cloak.
With his cloak that we have no idea how he got it, and it looks like shit.
I feel like they want us to think that the cloak came from tattered remains of his suit, but that's like impossible.
Because it fused to his body.
Yeah.
Their explanation, not ours.
He almost looks like, and the timeline for this, or like our timeline for this wouldn't work at all, but it almost looks like a really, really shitty Dune outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the new Dune outfit, which I think does look cool. This looks bad.
It's like at the last moment they realize he's missing something.
Yeah,
And then they Google Dr. Doom. Fuck,
he's got a cloak, dog. We gotta get him that.
And so, just to paraphrase it, they find Doom. He's walking around on this planet that
1 year later,
limping,
not recognizable at all.
That supposedly fuels him. Right, all his power apparently comes from here. They bring him back to Earth for what? An hour? Tops. He wakes up and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm Dr. Doom, motherfuckers!" And then he wrecks everyone. Immediately goes back into the space butthole. And then begins to enact his evil plan, which is to open up a much bigger space butthole.
That's the only space butthole. That
is supposedly going to convert the Earth into energy in order to question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds about right to me.
Yeah,
Also, why the fuck would scientists bring him back?
Yeah. They don't even know that it's Victor.
How could they know it's even Victor?
He doesn't talk until he wakes up.
Yeah.
How the fuck does what's his name know it's Victor?
He does say, "We knew you'd come back," or "I knew you'd come back."
Bitch, how?
Well, see, also they up until this point, and again, not enough research had been done. There was only one potential life form to be on Planet Zero,
but they don't.
The bitch is dead.
They don't know that.
The bitch is dead. No, I'm just saying
they were there for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a little.
You're trying to tell us what Josh Trank was thinking.
Yes.
On the day. The single day where he wrote the script.
Hungover as shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
From chasing the fucking dragon the night before when he wrote the first 20 minutes of this movie.
They bring Victor back through that goddamn portal.
With zero protection around him.
Zero.
Well, to be honest, this entire facility had zero protection on any of the people with powers.
That's true.
Which, you know, actually, the first time, you can kind of forgive them because this isn't a thing that would have ever happened. But you guys had a year.
A year?
You know what this place does to people who were there for just a few minutes. Fucking Sue didn't even go, and she got crazy
her
about
shit wrecked. Yeah.
So like, this motherfucker's been there for a year. You don't think that you're gonna go? This motherfucker might be supercharged. He might be super crazy. He looks like an ancient necromancer. I'm sure that's just coincidental.
Or he might be,
like
throwing off fucking radiation.
Yeah.
Nothing about the situation says that this is a good idea to bring him back. Nothing says that's a good idea.
Man, in these reports, it clearly says they saw these giant pools of green goo. Man,
that shit's gone.
Yeah,
where's the green goo?
Where's the green goo at?
And why is Victor glowing green?
Yeah. Also, why the fuck did Reed, even after a year, right? Mm-hmm. If you saw something that fucking wild and that traumatic thing happened, that shit sticks in your brain a little bit, or it trauma dumps, one or the other. But it didn't seem to trauma dump for him. So why would he be like, man, it looks different for some reason?
Yeah.
Yeah. This whole situation doesn't make hardly any sense. And then also, like, Victor's reasoning, like, I would be willing to give this movie some sort of pass that it doesn't deserve if Victor beforehand had any notion or inkling of, I think all humanity should die.
Right.
But he says it like one time in passing in one of those edgy bullshit lines.
Yeah, but that's just edgelord dude talking. You know?
And he's just like, we're a scourge on the earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just destroy everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest.
Way too much emotion.
There was way too much emotion in that. Also,
your face made things.
There's no way that this character would ever want a Spencer's or a PacSun to close.
Well, he can control where it did because he's got fucking powers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that's true.
So there'd just be floating Spencers everywhere.
Also, like, he was gonna destroy Latveria.
Yeah.
Latveria.
Come
on.
Yeah. Doom would never
destroy Latveria. And his powers, homies, you may be wondering what they are.
And so are we.
Yeah. I got no
I believe the answer y'all gave me was yes.
Yeah. He has yes powers.
He explodes people. He telekinetically moves all the things.
Yeah,
he can shape stone, earth and grasp.
Telekinetically.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh Trank, he said his power is, fuck it, Dr. Manhattan. And then they were just done with it.
So what happened in this really shitty game of D&D, right, is the person who was playing Victor originally, they had some shit going in their life, and they missed a couple sessions, right? And then the DM was so fed up with these motherfuckers by the time he got back, he was like, look, I'm just going to let you do whatever. And so he's like, I'm tired of this shit. So he's like, you can just do whatever the fuck you want to do. No character sheet. You just make up whatever you want to do.
Roll some dice and say some shit happens.
Yeah, and then, like, the other characters just happened to roll a shit ton of 20s. And the DM was just like, motherfucker.
All right, fine. You guys kick him into the fucking combo breaker, fucking limit break.
And he gets disintegrated. And that's the end of the campaign. There's no reason for us to play anymore. We're out.
I fucking hate all of you.
Yeah.
Oh, and I give you a building at the end.
Yeah, you get a building for your characters. Called Central City for some reason.
It's in the middle of the fucking mountains with nothing near it.
His vague powers were awful and so uncreative and just... It didn't account for anything, and then he immediately goes back to
Zero.
Planet Zero. The Fantastic Four go in after him, and they work together with the power of family and teamwork.
That doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's so unearned. Like everything genuine that they try to do in this movie is all so unearned, and when you get to the conclusion of this, you just feel so empty because there's nothing of substance in this whole movie.
Honestly, like, almost all the action here is stunt doubles. They do close-up shots of their faces so they can hashtag emote some of them. Mm-hmm. And then it's just a stunt double on a green screen, and it's really evident, and it's just a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, it's super bad.
And there's no real fight, right? Like, it's... Like, Doom hits... Like, they all try to use their individual powers. Doom fucks him up with the same ability, hitting him with the little rocks. And
Reed gets lucky.
Yeah, Reed gets lucky, tosses him into a fucking, into a cave cliff thing.
Crater. No,
Crater.
not crater.
Chasm.
Chasm.
A chasm.
Fissure or a chasm.
I like chasm. Chasm, good word.
Fissure works though too.
Yeah, it would be either, I think. A tectonic anomaly.
Oh.
We don't know that bitch has tectonics.
That's true. That's true. We do not.
Planet Zero crack.
Yeah. Planet Zero
Planet
crack.
Zero crack.
To go with the butthole.
Yeah. You know, that's above it.
And then they all decide, okay, well, we should probably work as a team because he can beat one of us, but he can't beat all of us.
And Reed says that pretty much almost with that same tone.
Yeah.
You can just tell Miles Teller is checked the fuck out by this point.
I would have been too.
Oh, yeah. I was also checked out.
Honestly, I feel like Michael B. Jordan was checked out from the beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
Like, there was very few moments where I actually thought he wanted to be there.
He read the script and was like, guys, this is shit. So you already signed it.
If you're Michael B. Jordan, you got to be thinking that this is a good idea. Superheroes are hot, especially at this time.
Yeah.
And he worked with Joss in a really successful movie.
Yeah.
On a really well-received movie. Like,
granted, his character took an L that I still think is undeserved, but...
Agreed. He should have been one to live instead of other buddy.
Yeah.
Honestly, more than either of them.
Yeah.
He was a good... Never mind, we're not going to get on that.
I want to watch that movie again. Anyway.
What year was that shit out? Hold up.
2010?
Maybe 2010-ish, yeah. They all work together, and they fight Doom.
Oh, damn, 2012.
2012. So, yeah, that sounds about right. They're able to knock Doom into the Sky Portal because, as Caleb said, those were required in superhero movies around this time.
They were. Batman vs. Superman has one. Man of Steel has one. Avengers has one. Suicide Squad. The really shitty one.
Yeah, not the Suicide Squad. Just Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
Yep.
The David Ayer.
Yep. And there's some others I'm sure we're missing, but there were a lot of sky portals and sky buttholes.
Yeah. There were so many in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
Space Butthole.
Yeah.
Oh, space butthole.
Yeah,
My
space butthole.
apologies. Yeah.
I mean, sky is part of space. Everything is
true.
part of space.
Yeah.
Except for
Space
time.
Butthole.
Space Butthole, yeah. I mean...
But this, for one reason or another, obliterates Doom
Yeah, like he gets disintegrated.
Yeah. I just...
Well, they made it out like the ring at the top of these pillars
made out of stones.
Made out of stones was destroyed. Like he was pulling the earth into that, and it was
energyifying him.
It was turning all of that, the earth, into energy. And so when they dropped it on him, he passes through it. And he gets turned into energy.
It kind of reminded me of when Silver Surfer blasted Dr. Doom. How he disintegrated but rematerialized. It was just the disintegrate part.
Yeah, and I mean, this honestly makes no sense because this machine makes no sense because Victor makes no sense.
Like, literally, there was no point unless it...
there were 3 points. On top of the 3 rocks.
No, there was literally no point for him to bring the machine back because he could have just done that all along.
He could have done it the whole time he was there. The whole time.
Because it would have made a little more sense if like I needed the extra energy or some bullshit from the machine. But there was no purpose for him to ever come back. He could have just opened the space butthole.
Yeah, and there would have been nobody there to stop him.
No.
I mean, granted, we have no way of saying he can't. We also have no way in saying he could. I mean, he doesn't teleport without the machine. I know I'm defending this fucking movie.
No. But we're saying that he could have just opened it any time during that year.
I'm saying that it doesn't technically say he can. It never shows that he can. He only teleports with the machine.
Well, no. What we're trying to say is the fact that his magical stones, are what open the space butthole.
Or are you saying he used the machine to do that?
Yes, because he sends the machine back to Earth, and while it's still fluctuating, and again, I really don't like that I'm fucking defending this.
Yeah,
because it's fucking stupid. But so he's on Earth, right? Beats the fuck out of everybody. Blah 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 blah. Takes the machine back to planet Zero. And then he sends the machine back to Earth again, and while that residual bullshit's still going, he then takes it and makes it into the fucking sky butthole.
If that is the plan, though, why doesn't he just fucking do that the first time rather than come back to Earth? Because when they see him walk up with the cloak on, they brought the machine and they then used the machine.
He could have easily done it.
He could have just done it right then because they used the machine to go back to Earth.
He needed a nappy.
All right. Well,
you know what? Sure.
That's all I got because he passed the fuck out.
Maybe he really did need to get on Pornhub for.
Yeah.
He probably might have. Now, what he did with the rest of that 9 minutes and 43 seconds, I don't know.
He's like, I just need one more bust before I destroy the Earth.
Yeah. It's like
that was brought up like 3 fucking times during the movie.
And then, folks, after all of this, we get the worst scene in the movie.
Which is saying something.
Boy, yeah, they
them at fucking Central City.
They get a government facility for themselves.
A whole government facility.
Yeah.
That they believe isn't going to be tapped.
Right.
But also, why are they suddenly buddy-buddy?
I guess because they think that the Fantastic Four saved the world.
And I don't know how or why they would think that because they had no way to know what happened over here. They could have
like, why are the Fantastic Four buddy-buddy now? And they're not even really buddy-buddy.
We have no reason to believe that they should be. Also, I meant to bring this up earlier, too. They hint at a romance between Sue and Reed, kind of.
Is this hinting at a romance?
Yeah, but I was about to say, literally, that is all that we get is this.
I was going to say, in that case, me and you have been hinting at a romance on this podcast for some time.
I mean, we already knew that, but...
They hint at a romance between Victor and Sue. Like, when I say, I mean, interest.
Well, Victor being a creepy
I think it's just Victor being a creepy motherfucker.
Yeah.
Is Sue gonna be there?
But like nothing ever comes of any of it. And then it's
that was way too much emotion.
Yeah, right. That too.
I can't see Reed and Sue, this Reed and this Sue, having any sort of romantic connection.
No.
No, she needs to pull that fucking stick out from her ass first.
There's a lot that needs to happen. Both of them. Like, it just, there's no fucking way. And, again, we talked about the zinger that Johnny says to Ben that felt so unearned.
Was it a zinger? Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it that.
It felt like a fucking rock dick punch. Which isn't good on either side.
Yeah, no.
And also like
what was it? The thing that nobody wanted.
Oh
No,
yeah,
it was he said the name for the three of them.
yeah. The Johnny Storm and the Torchettes, and then it was like
And the thing that nobody
the
wanted.
thing that nobody wanted, but it was a different.
It was on a different one.
It was
like
on a different
the
one.
neutrons or something.
Yeah, the brain, the something else, and then the thing that nobody wanted.
Yeah. Which like just legitimately felt like an asshole move. Not even like a Johnny haha asshole. Just like a straight asshole move.
Yeah, it was deadpan, dumb, like made no sense in the script. None of the characters had the chemistry to be able to pull that off. And then you get the awful, like can't even satire the shit of Ben going, yeah, it was fantastic. And then say that again? Just fucking
And he
awful.
says it again. It was fantastic.
It was fantastic.
I mean, granted, I can't really blame Ben for saying it the same way again because he'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Right?
And then Reed goes, "Hey guys, I got it." The music swells, the camera comes in, and then
Cut. To be
Kind of
perfectly
straight.
honest, I think I preferred it that way.
Yeah, I would rather them do it this than them say it.
But it's the fact that like
I wouldn't rather
they
either.
felt like at the end of this movie that like people were gonna cheer in the theater. You know what I mean? Like
It is so bad.
there's nothing you want to do after seeing that other than get up from wherever you're sitting watching it and leave. Like
I promise you,
I tried to.
They were trying to get that Age of Ultron feel, man. At the end of that, when Cap, he stands there, he's got the team, and he says Avengers, and I was like, and then he blue balls you, and yeah, it just cuts. I'm like, okay.
and the key difference, we all really wanted Cap to say that.
Yeah.
We didn't want him to say this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big facts.
And what's bad is that there is a cut where he says it.
Yeah.
And then they were like,
Let's try it with the other one just to see.
yeah.
Oh boy, let's score this thing.
Before we get to that, the creator of Fantastic Four, who was that?
Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
It was? Mm-hmm. I kind of wish I could see their reaction to this.
Well, Stan Lee was still alive when this came out. There was no cameo.
There's no cameo. He at least cameoed in the 05 and the 07.
Yeah.
In the 94, he said he denied the movie's existence, even though he did visit the set.
Nope, didn't happen.
Never happened.
I don't know what you're talking about. The movie doesn't exist.
Yeah. The funny thing is, like, from what I understand, Jack Kirby, like, he died in, I think, like, the mid-90s. So he caught, like, some of the really shitty super movies that came out.
Oh, poor bastard.
From what I understand, Kirby never cared about that. He was like, what's my fucking check?
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, do whatever you want. Where's the check? Yeah. So he never even would have got to Spider-Man. So there were no good Marvel movies.
He didn't make it to Blade. Didn't make it to any good Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. and that motherfucker, I can only imagine his response to like Eternal, something that he wrote and drew all himself.
Oh shit!
He would do a fucking backflip. It's great.
They did.
He would love Captain America though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He loved that. Oh boy.
Sorry, I just had to ask that. It popped in my head, but
Yeah.
Oh well, let's score this thing, and then we can get into our rankings, and then we can get the fuck out of here.
Oh boy.
Dylan, I think you started us off tonight.
I'm trying to remember what I put the Justice League X Ruby Heroes and Huntsman.
You gave that. I think was it a 2?
It was a 2 something. It might have been 2. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna put this at like a 3. It doesn't deserve any points. It doesn't. It didn't make me pissed. I'm not pissed about this movie. I'm just disappointed in it. I know it could have been better. It didn't really try. It's a nothing burger. 3.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 3 also. But just because I can't bring myself to give a Fantastic Four movie a 4.
It's what they wanted the whole time.
So I think the highest score that we collectively have given a Fantastic Four movie was like a 4.5.
Oh God, really?
I think so. That is the highest.
We have
score
not done great ones
that we have given any of these Fantastic Four movies.
I want to say I gave the last one a 3 as well.
To say that Marvel has a softball, for this, like, it's a layup for sure.
They can trip over the finish line.
Yeah.
And still.
Yeah. Turn out a 7.
Yeah. If it's a 7, it is twice as good.
It's over twice as good.
Yeah.
My score.
Man, look, I think that some of the visuals in this are pretty okay, especially for the time 2015. I think that the look of Ben is something that it works for this kind of grounded approach. No pun intended there. Ground Ben rock.
You did. Don't.
I think that the first 15 minutes of this movie, while rushed and kind of out of place, it does feel like they are leading towards something. So it kind of gives you hope that they had something cooking that could have been pretty decent. The cast has potential to be something really strong here, but the script and the direction just really let them down. There's no team unity here. I think this movie has the least team cohesion, the least team unity, the least believability that they get along, or friends, or any kind of family. I don't believe any of that. I think that this is also probably the worst this is the worst Doctor Doom live action that we've gotten so far. This movie is a bunch of flat, failed ideas that just don't go anywhere. I can't give this thing anything other than I'm going to go with the messaging. I also give it a 3. I think that the few things it does positive is enough to get it that 3, but I can't give it a point above that.
If it just had some form of consistency, it could probably have gotten us slightly, like some points after that 3.
Yeah.
I just...
Yeah. By the way, homies, this is out of 10, not 5.
Yeah. Yeah, out of 10. I gotta really agree with the room here. I mean, this movie, it's like it tries to be 4 different movies.
Yeah.
Ironically. I got a second one. Peace of my world.
I'm actually less upset about that one than the first one.
It's like it tried to be shitty Stranger Things. Then it tried to be shitty Interstellar. Then it tried to be shitty the Fantastic Four movie that came before it. And then at the end, I don't know what the fuck they were trying to do. So... Oh, and I guess we'll also throw in some like Tales from the Crypt or something there for a little bit.
Yeah, some kind of body horror.
Some Cronenberg going on.
Maybe it's Black Mirror.
So it's like, it's almost like they just had all these different ideas and just splashed them on a page, and none of it feels coherent. At no point in time do you ever feel like this movie is trying to say anything. Like, There's no substance to it. I mean, even the other 3 movies here, they at least all were trying to like pitch this kind of like, oh, we're stronger as a family, or even like your family is like who you choose or whatever, or like some cliche. Even if it's cliche bullshit, they at least had it in the movie. This movie isn't trying to say anything. It's not trying to say anything about its characters. It fucks up Doctor Doom somehow worse than all the other attempts. The only things that I really like here is the portrayal of Reed. I won't say the characterization because that shit's not there. And I guess like whoever cast these people, like for the most part, like they picked good actors to come out and act out this terrible script.
It had to be the script.
I gave... I have judged a lot of things along the lines of the last season of Umbrella Academy, which I gave a 3.5. Yeah, this is about like that. So I'm going to go with the rest of you guys and give it a 3.
Wow. How often do all 4
I don't
people...
think... Is that the first time?
I think that's the first time that 4 people have given the same score, yeah.
I feel like it's happened once before.
It doesn't. It's not unique enough to deserve me giving it lower.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
No, Ben Grimm is the thing.
Like, say what you want about fucking Dune 84, right? but Dune 84, you could tell that they had a vision. I hate it, but they had one and they stuck to it.
You mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Now that vision may have been from, crack, but
Hey, listen. 1990 Captain America had a vision.
yeah, Grand Theft Auto.
And size altering Captain America.
Yeah.
Depending on which shirt he's wearing.
Yeah.
And fake ears. There were a lot of visions in that movie.
All right, folks.
Vision is in another movie.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Hey, I got mine.
And a TV show. And soon to be another TV show.
Oh, is it another one?
Yeah, Vision Quest.
Boy, now the fun part, homies.
We are going to rank them shits. So we're going to rank each of the members of Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, and the films overall for all of the existing Fantastic Four movies, starting with Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards. What do we think here for number one?
So we're gonna go like top one for all four of us, second one for all four of us.
I think we just can consensus.
Well, not like that. I meant like all four of us do the Reed Richards. All four of us do the Storm. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sure, I'll go first on that one. Oddly enough, Fan4stic's Reed Richards is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Because he's competent, he is intelligent, and he actually seems like he knows how to actually solve a problem and is effective. Granted, that's not saying that it's a high bar.
Yeah, but it does put him ahead of the MCU Reed Richards that we have currently as well. The John Krasinski one.
Oh, that's fair.
Who also sucked.
Would this Reed Richards tell the weakness of his allies to some rando?
Nope.
No. So my number two actually falls on the middle two movies, because I kind of lumped them together. Because it's the same guy portraying the exact same character. No character growth whatsoever.
I think he does slightly better in 2 than he does 1.
But I mean, ultimately they blend together to me, so it doesn't really matter. And then, of course, my number 3 would be 94, who was a fucking sociopath and a child groomer.
We should check on that guy, see what he's doing.
I guess I'll go next.
Sure.
Yeah.
A lot of it's going to be very similar to what he said. My favorite one is definitely this one because he's not useless per se. Like he seems actually smart. It's kind of all I can say about it. Like that's the 2 step ups. My number 2 though is the 94 one, partly because he is. I'm not saying he does good. He's more useful.
Oh,
He is a sociopath, probably a serial killer.
He was interesting for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to know more, but I'm scared to know more.
He definitely enjoyed watching Doom fall at the end of that movie.
Yeah.
Way too much. And he was a child groomer, which is very bad.
He's like, now that you're gone, Victor, there's no one to stand in my way.
Dude, there wasn't anyone in the way before.
I wasn't in your way! No, it would have been...
no. Yeah, my bad.
And I wish I would have thought of clumping the other 2 movies together. I didn't. It's such a hard choice. I did pick the 05 one over the second one, but it's really by like me. They're like right next to each other.
Yeah, like honestly, the majority of my list is done that way because they feel the same to me. All of them.
I mean, the second one's more forgettable.
That is true.
I have a pretty similar list here. I have Fan4stic and then the 94.
Interesting.
And then I have Silver Surfer and then the 2005. In the 2005, I feel like it's the worst portrayal for me because that whole movie is just Reed just being completely incompetent, right? And awkward, and he really doesn't solve or he never is really effective or anything throughout that whole movie. And I just thought that was the worst of the portrayals.
I'm not really even sure he does much more in the 07 one, but I mean he might.
I think the 07 movie just had less room for him to do those things. Like he just has less screen time
because Silver Surfer had to beat them all up.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, since you did pick the same number 2 slot as me, what was your reasoning for picking that one? Is it because he's slightly less incompetent?
It's kind of because at least in the 94 one, and the 94 one is the only one that even remotely touches on the relationship between Reed and Victor. It's the only one where that shit is
with the
even kind of believable, and the only one where there's even a reason truly for there to be any personal animosity between them.
Yeah.
Like it's like this idea that the two of them as a team would be unstoppable, but as villains, like that hate, like as antagonists to each other, they're
oppositions.
They're awful, right? Like it's the worst thing ever, and that is at least something. Whereas in the 05 and 07, fucking Victor just hates them for no goddamn reason, and then in the Fan4stic, what the fuck? Like,
to be fair, that same Victor is also the one who hates Jimmy.
yeah. I mean,
I don't think he hates Jimmy. He just knows he needed to try and take him out when he wasn't looking.
I don't know that Victor knows who the fuck Jimmy is. Like,
he knows who he is now.
He said his name.
Now.
He said his name.
He did say his name.
Yeah.
So he knew who he was.
Yeah, he just didn't know that he was fucking around and finding out.
That's fair.
Maybe this one quick. Yeah, the best Reed Richards for me is from the 2015. Second, I would actually say 07, Rise of Silver Surfer, closely followed by the 05, and way down there is the 94 Reed. Reason that I gave the 07 and 05 that second and third slide, this is the only Reed that has any kind of heart. Mm-hmm. And he's also the only one that looks like Reed Richards.
You don't think Miles
looks like Reed? No.
Okay. His head's not elongated enough. It's gotta be more and less.
Yeah.
Okay. Can't have a round head.
Can't have a round head.
Well, Pedro Pascal's fucked.
Oh, I said it from the beginning.
Oh, okay, yeah, you did.
Well, at least this one might actually have way more heart than any of the other ones.
We're gonna hope so, because he ain't got no lines according to that trailer.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to look at it and go, well, fucking Pedro Pascal's a tremendous actor, so it's gonna be good. Fucking like they got Miles fucking Teller. Like, if you've seen Top Gun Maverick, you know that this dude is a fucking A-lister. He's incredible, and really pretty much any of his other work. But holy shit, I mean,
I'm blanking on any of those other
Whiplash, War Dogs.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Great movies. Sue Storm. Should we reverse engineer it?
yeah. You go first.
Yeah.
All right, boy, I should have thought about this more.
You were the one that offered.
I did. And then I realized what I did.
Thought about it about 4 times the amount you did.
Okay, you don't get one for that. The best Sue Storm. This is really fucking hard because I don't like any of them.
Yeah, I'll show you my ranking. It'll make it easier for you.
You want to see mine?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I also have a new one.
Caleb, you got the right idea, man. But wow, shit.
This is the hardest, I think, of all of them.
Yeah. I just forced myself to write numbers down.
I mean, I guess Kate Mara is the best actress out of all of them.
She is
by far.
Yeah.
That is the most accurate, the closest to accurate of her powers.
I'm going to put her first. In this case, 2 and 3 are going to be tied evenly with Jessica Alba. And then whatever the fuck they had going on for the 94 Sue.
I worry for that actress.
I think that this goes along with, like, obviously there's the clear influence. The reason this one is the most difficult is because from 94 to 2015 in general, the portrayal of women in films, especially in like these types of films, was greatly changed, right? Where, you know, in I'd say the 90s and 2000s, they're like, oh, a superhero movie is for like a fucking sweaty nerd, you know, with the pocket protector and the fucking big ass glasses, and you know, and yeah, I mean, obviously, because it's based on comic books, which also had similar portrayals in a lot of cases. You know, that the assumption from Hollywood is that they're just there to be eye candy and that's it. Obviously,
damsels in distress.
That has changed over time, and so it's not surprising that we, over the years, got a better and better portrayal. Like, obviously in the '94 version, Sue Storm's only reason for being there is to knit their fucking outfits, which is like so fucking insulting. Honestly, like, I jokingly said, fuck all of them. Like, they're all like a 4. They're all 4. But I do have to say that, yeah, the 2015 is the best one. Kate Mara is the best actress. They actually surprisingly never try to make her out like she is there for eye candy in this, and I do lightly applaud them for that. The other 3, though, the Jessica Alba and the 1994, Jessica Alba is hotter than the 94 one. I'm not giving that to her, though. That they're all at the bottom together, like no dice.
I think I'm next.
Yep. Yeah.
If I originally wrote no and said the new one as my pick, I still think that's probably true.
It's gotta be.
I mean, honestly,
if they somehow make it worse.
Oh my goodness.
But I do agree that this one, the 2015 one, you guys have said her name a few times. I'm bad with names. Yeah, she is the best so far. They as you said, didn't try to turn into eye candy. She did have, based on what you've told me, the closest to her power set. I did eventually put numbers for the other ones. I put 05 in the second slot because she's at least less of an absolute bitch in that one, which is saying something.
Yeah.
Because she's still a mega bitch.
I was gonna say, I think that's the bitchiest one, to be honest.
I thought in 07 she was worse with the whole wedding shit.
Oh yeah.
She was a bridezilla.
Yeah, a little bit.
I specifically remember yelling at her more, at the screen more with that one. I was just like, would you just fucking stop? And then, like I said, the 94 one, I want to go back in time and be like, are you okay? Blink twice if he's doing anything. Like, just...
I mean, I kind of feel like all of our lists are... with Sue is kind of similar. Just no across the board. But, and again, like, I think 2015, that's my number 1.
Such a low bar.
Even though she's a snitch.
Yeah. Honestly, like, I feel like every portrayal of Sue is either she's a bitch, snitch, or eye candy. Yeah. And I'm just... or a damsel in distress, or a groomed person who is manipulated.
It's the bitch, the snitch, and the stitch.
God damn it. But also accurate. Yeah, so 2015, that's my number 1.
Right? It's so bad.
05 and 07, I'm lumping together. Is number 2, and of course, for my number 3 is 94. Like, there's very little that 94 could do to actually make me kind of be okay with any of it.
Well, you can go ahead and kick us off on Johnny Storm.
Johnny Storm. Well, I think it's kind of evident on who my number 1 for that is, and that is mostly 2005. Huh?
I said the 94 one.
No. not butt laser Johnny, okay? Not butt laser Johnny. No, but it's definitely Chris Evans in 2025. He's definitely my number 1. Not 2025. 2005. Jesus.
He could make an appearance.
He might.
Yeah, he was in the 2020. He's in the 2024.
Yeah.
And then of course, like I kind of lumped him, the 2007 together because I for real those movies blend together to me.
I mean, they are connected.
Yeah.
And then I go with Michael B. Jordan as my number 2-ish. I felt like I love Michael B. Jordan. Everything he's been in, I've enjoyed.
Until now.
What the fuck was this? Like I kind of felt like he was done the moment he got on screen. Like the whole, it was just bad.
And he's the only person who had worked with the director before.
Yeah, and I was like, he's like, motherfucker, what is this?
Did you start doing crack since the last movie?
And then of course, last is definitely Butt Laser Johnny.
Butt Laser Johnny.
They should have sold that as a toy.
No, they should not.
But that is my list.
Mom, Dad, can I have Butt Laser Johnny?
Look, man, it was the 90s, okay? They sold Sprite by having Sting busting your house and beat the shit out of your children.
True.
That's true.
I'm not saying it wouldn't happen. I'm saying it shouldn't happen.
Oh, those are two different things. Okay.
Homies,
Well,
if you're confused, in the 94 movie, there's a scene at the very end where when Johnny finally flames on and he chases a laser from Latveria that's trying to destroy, I think, is New York.
yeah.
Maybe.
Like that.
He gets in front
Beats
of
the
it.
laser.
He beats the laser, and we think he's gonna do some cool shit. It hits him right in the asshole.
He blows-
And just rolls him over
He
for like
blocks it with his
5
ass.
minutes.
You really think it's gonna be something interesting, and then it's interesting.
Also, it's like a PlayStation 1 graphics jelly storm and laser.
It is. I wouldn't even go PlayStation 1. I'd go almost Atari, dog. Like, it's rough.
Oh, it's at least 3-dimensional.
Yeah.
I was saying like PlayStation. I'd say PlayStation 1 because there was that Spider-Man game.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Spider-Man
Played
game.
the shit out of that game actually. I forget which Spider-Man game it was.
Was that Web of Shadows?
I think that was.
No.
That was PS2.
I think it might just be like The Amazing Spider-Man.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where the end boss is Carnage.
Yeah.
Good game.
What you got, Dilly?
I actually had a mild bit of issue picking with this at first. Like, my gut instinct was definitely 05 as my number one. Mm-hmm. And then I almost went back over to 2015 for my number one. And it's... Part of it's probably because I've never experienced the Fantastic Four outside of video media.
Right.
So, like, I don't really know the proper Johnny, And I was like, I mean... I don't hate him in this per se. I think his character has some good reactions to stuff. So, like, granted, if that is the character or not, I don't really know. Because, like, for instance, he's the only one that was like, hey, guys, let's not go down the fucking cliff. And I kind of feel like Johnny might not do that.
Yeah, like, I was actually kind of... Like, don't get me wrong. From your perspective, it was the black guy who said, we're not going to die first in this movie.
Well, no, I meant I don't know if Johnny Storm would say, hey, let's go down and poke the random green fucking goo.
Well, I don't think he would say that, but I definitely think he would be a little more excited to go risk something.
But would he be that hyped to risk all four of them? I don't know.
Honestly, I think what they probably should have done is, like, have him be like, I'm going down there. Y'all can follow me if you want to.
Well, that's what fucking Doom should have done, because he was going down there no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wanted to put his penis in that green goo.
Jesus.
He eventually put all of them in there.
Yeah.
And then obviously, 07 would take third, and what was it, Butt Laser Johnny?
Butt Laser Johnny.
Butt Laser Johnny.
It was that he just did nothing. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't melt fucking concrete. Nothing.
He was useless.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
So I went with the 05 as my number one. The 07 is number two, mainly because there was like a clear push to sort of make him more the main character in that movie, and he was much more unbearable in that one. Then I will go with the 2015, and for my number 4, Butt Laser Johnny.
Why do I feel like we're gonna get another T-shirt idea out of this?
I'm not wearing that one.
Now, unfortunately, I don't think there's anything we can or should do to be number one on the Google list for butt laser Johnny.
I don't want my face on that.
Oh god.
It's so catchy though.
Yeah, he caught it right in the anus. That's the problem.
It's so funny every time we say it.
All right, my number one. I think this is the same across the board. Basically, my number one is 05. That for me, like that is it a basic interpretation of Johnny Storm? Sure, but they don't really fuck him up. And I mean, he's a shit talker. You know, he's arrogant. He's a prankster. His friendship with Ben, I think, is actually really well portrayed. How they shit talk each other, and he gives Ben a hard time, but there's still love there underneath. At this point, the effects were good enough, passable enough to look decent. For his flame on.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Does he do any pranks in this movie?
No.
Shit.
Nope.
I don't even notice it.
Nope, no pranks, and also 05 Johnny Storm gets hoes, which is another quintessential part of Johnny.
He's a womanizer. Yeah.
There's a difference between being a womanizer and getting hoes.
Yeah.
Notice he didn't say that Johnny wasn't.
He
just
treated
said there was a difference.
Maria Menounos to a great time.
He did. Yeah.
and she was happy.
Yeah, she was happy.
Yeah. I mean.
Then next 07, for basically the same reason that Caleb said, he does take more of a center stage approach here, and it only works to varying degrees. But a lot of the things that do work for the same reason they worked in 05, like his relationship with Ben. You never buy his relationship with Sue.
Ever.
Never.
Not on any of these.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. I think that's a common thread here. Third is Fan4stic, and that's just because Michael B. Jordan,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan arrived on the set.
Yep.
And number three.
And then Butt Laser Johnny.
Every time we say it, we get closer and closer to showing up on that search list.
This is your fault, Dylan.
What the way he said it?
I said it.
Oh, this is your fault.
I'm just saying, in 1994, the Big K would have had Butt Laser Johnny up there near the front with all the good toys.
Think about it. Beavis and Butthead were popping back in 94.
That's right. They could sell Butt Laser Johnny.
Yeah. They could definitely sell Butt Laser Johnny.
Ben Grimm is next.
I think I marked my shit wrong. As funny as that might sound. Because for some reason, I'll go first, I guess, then. I'll tell you what is written here, and I think I was listening to you guys and wrote two of these numbers wrong. Because number one for me was 05. Because it's kind of the Johnny and Ben combo.
Yeah.
Like, they did really well with this. And then, for some reason, I put 94 in slot 2 instead of 07. I think I need to swap those. Because I do think, kind of the same thing with you, they're just smushed together. Those two movies are.
Yeah.
And then I'll put 94 over this one, because at least with that one, he had some kind of emotion, and anything other than angry. Like, he's the Thing, not the Hulk.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
He's the Sulk in the 2015.
Yeah, like... Plus, he has shorts. He has pants.
He does have
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
He's not naked this whole fucking time.
I didn't have to see his ass crack.
But that's kind of... it. The 05 and the 07 definitely are better with Johnny and Ben together, for sure. This movie has none of that. Not a single bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
Does the 95 one even have it?
The 94?
94, I mean, yeah.
Does it have what?
Johnny and Ben, like...
No.
Not really.
Tag teamy.
Not much, no.
I mean,
Johnny
that movie
is
doesn't have a lot of
useless
anything,
in that
but-
movie.
Yeah.
And
Until Butt Laser Johnny, yeah.
until Butt Laser Johnny. But also, Ben just spent all his time picking up women for no fucking reason.
He did pick them up a lot.
I actually, man, I have the 94 as my number one Ben Grimm.
Interesting.
Because in the 05 and 07, the only thing you remember about him is his relationship with Johnny. That's it.
Fair.
That's all you know about him. He's just there for Chris Evans to make jokes off of.
Maybe that's why I have it at number 2.
And he's even fucking played by one of my favorite actors.
I was literally about to say, dog.
Well, fucking Michael B. Jordan
That's true. That's true.
is my number 3 Johnny Storm. So, like, yeah, I mean, I've got the 94 Ben Grimm in number 1 because not only is he the star of that movie, I would say, I mean, and I'm using that term lightly, but I think the guy that played Ben was the best actor in the movie by far. He worked under the prosthetics really, really well.
Yeah.
And he's got a great like character arc in that movie, even though he does just randomly pick up blind women. You know, no king shame, I guess.
And Sue. Blind Woman and Sue.
Yeah. I mean, the blind woman he picked up was very happy about it.
A little surprisingly. But
Yeah, we're not really sure why, but and then I have the 05 as my number 2 because obviously the chemistry with Chris Evans and Michael Chiklis was amazing in that. In 07, he kind of got
They were a riot on set.
Yes,
Oh, I bet.
yes. In the 07, he got a significantly, like, he's, I think everybody except Johnny is reduced in the 07.
Yeah.
And even Johnny, too. Like, the Fantastic Four as a whole are reduced in the 07 because it's all about the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the Fan4stic one is fucking terrible. It's the worst one. I wish we got more of the thing, Ben, because he was actually
Interesting.
really interesting and likable and charismatic and like had the kind of backstory they started building on here. It's almost like if they didn't have Doctor Doom in this movie, they could have done a lot more of that kind of thing.
Almost.
So that's mine.
I'll go next. Yeah, for me, the best Ben is 05. For me, it's not just his relationship with Johnny that stands out. I always go back to when his wife left him, and he's trying to pick up that ring.
Shit, that was a rough scene.
Yeah.
And he just can't. Then there's also the scene that I think is kind of slept on that I'll really enjoy, and it's when he's so fed up with Reed in the third act of the movie, he goes and tries to fight Reed, and Reed restrains him and tries to calm him down, but Ben is just so fed up with being Rockman. There's a few, and there's not much. Trust me, there's a few scenes in that movie that really tries to show Ben in a more sympathetic light. I think 05 does that best. 94 does that second best, which is why it's number 2 here for me with Ben. 94 would edge out the 05 one if it wasn't so goddamn goofy.
Yeah.
Then number 3, I gotta go with Rise of the Silver Surfer. It's more of the same in that one, but just to a lesser degree for all the reasons we've already stated. And also for all the reasons we've already stated, the worst Ben Grimm is 2015 Fan4stic. I mean, what can you say about the giant golem rock Ben, man, that we haven't already said? He ain't got no draws on.
He ain't got nothing. Yeah.
And he don't even got a butt laser.
Yeah, you don't have a butt.
Are you saying this?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna give my Ben Grimm. And again, I've said this pretty much the entire fucking list. 05 and 07 just blend together to me. I agree that him and Johnny's relationship definitely hold it together for me. But like you said, especially in the 05 version, you do feel the emotion from him. Something you don't ever get from Reed or Sue. So, like that one's definitely my number one, the 05 and 07. Oddly enough, my number 2 is Fan4stic.
Oh.
Interesting.
And the only reason is for the opening up until he's not in the movie anymore.
I guess that is a Ben Grimm, not a the thing.
That's Ben Grimm. That's not the thing.
Yeah.
Do not get me wrong. I hate the models for all 3. I just think he looks derpy as fuck in all of them. Mm-hmm. Either he looks like a rock golem monster or something that, crawled out of, the thing's ass.
He is a rock golem monster.
He's just not that weird half moon face one that I showed in the chat.
Yeah,
there's been some.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah, there's been some crazy comic drawings of him.
Yeah. But yeah, so oddly enough, Fan4stic got my number 2, and then my last is definitely
a real long time ago.
A real long time ago in 1994. So I guess am I jumping into Doom or?
Let me cut to the chase on Doom here. Does anybody else have anything other than Doom was the best in 94 and got progressively worse every time after that? Does anybody have anything else?
It is in order. It is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 100%.
Okay, I'll save us all a bunch of fucking time.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Yeah. Fucking look at me.
The best. And then it slid like this.
So much worse.
It was so bad.
Because, in the 05, he's Elon Musk, even though that wasn't a thing yet. And then in 07, he's just that, but shittier and less of it, right? Mm-hmm. And then the Fan4stic is just absolutely fucking garbage.
Garbage.
Yeah. Like CW Reject, as you put it, when Greendale got Green Day to play.
So to explain the joke for Dylan and also all the homies out there, the dean of the school is running around telling them that for this, is it the anniversary of the school?
No, something? It's literally an Earth Day.
An Earth Day,
actual
and
Green Day.
He tells them they got Green Day for the thing, and and everybody's really hyped about it. There's everybody shows up or whatever, and when they get there, it's this fucking Celtic band, and it's green, DAYE.
Oh, no.
and a bunch of old white dudes in kilts or whatever show up. Yeah.
What is this for? What?
In Community.
In the Community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But it's
and everybody,
true.
and they're like, "Who the fuck are you?" And they're like, "We're Green Day."
Well, we have the movie overall.
This will get interesting.
Yes.
I think Oz should go first.
I will go first. I'm okay with going first. So my number 1 is obviously 2005. It's got my favorite Johnny, my favorite Ben. I guess technically the overall favorite story. Followed closely by 07. And again, my whole list has been, I lumped those 2 together. Even though I can definitely think it's a little more unbearable in 07. Mm-hmm. This is where it's going to get controversial for a lot of y'all. My number 3 is Fan4stic.
I mean, you've been wrong before. It's not.
No. So here's my thing. At least, so I'm a very emotional individual. I like my feelings.
Okay.
This movie did not make me feel horrible about myself after watching it. 1994 made me feel uneasy.
Let me ask you this. Which one made you laugh more?
The reviews afterwards.
The 2015 doesn't make me feel anything, and that's the problem.
Yeah, see, I'm okay with not feeling anything versus feeling bad. And so that is my order. And y'all can hate me all you want. I don't care. I feel this way, and I'm okay with it.
You're going outwards in for this one again?
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I think my number 1 pick for this, and tell me if I'm justifying this incorrectly, is going to be 94. Specifically because, and if this doesn't allow it, then it would change the rating. I already have my secondary. Specifically because of the way that I watched it.
Superhero homie rule number 10.
Yeah. Specifically because I watched it with you guys and just died laughing on that fucking couch watching it. Put it above the 05 one for me. Now, if that were not to be able to be factored in the movie ranking, I would put 05 in front of it. But then it would go over 07 because 07 just made me mad. And Fan4stic is the last.
Yeah.
But I fucking... We quote it all the fucking time now.
We do.
Way more than the 05 one I do. So it has left a...
But Laser Johnny.
But Laser Johnny.
That was the new invention.
It has left a much more positive impact on my life, oddly enough, than any of the other 3 movies.
So, I feel like I need to defend myself a little bit more.
Oh, really? No, you said fuck them.
No, I didn't say fuck them. I said I didn't care. What I'm trying to say. What?
Number 10, like what you like, dog. You know?
No, I agree. All I'm saying, I just want to give an extra explanation on why. I put this fucking movie on the worst, in the top 8 worst movies I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah, but you did that before you had seen this one.
And I still agree with my list.
He's talking about the 94 one, by the way.
Yes. I'm just saying.
Okay, that's fine.
He's real defensive. We
He
said it
is.
was okay.
Yeah, because y'all judging. I feel you.
didn't say it was okay.
You're not. He is.
That's just my face.
And of course, Caleb always is.
Yeah, it's just an aura. I can't even turn it
I
off.
actually wasn't judging him. I was just having a fun time watching them fight.
Do you want to go last, or you want to go?
It don't matter to me.
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, the best Fantastic Four movie for me, overall, I gotta give it to Fantastic Four 05. I almost said Fan4stic. Holy shit.
I was like, whoa!
Now that I would have just went ahead and done that.
No, number 1 for me is 05 Fantastic Four. Number 2 for me is going to be 94.
Okay, so yeah, all right.
Fantastic Four. Number 3 would be Rise of the Silver Surfer, because Silver Surfer has some cool moments in there.
True.
And that leaves number 4, of course, Fan4stic. Leave it on the ground.
Way down there.
Yep.
We can leave all of these on the ground if we're okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being honest, like,
Yeah.
I think we all agree that they're all on the ground.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Some are just in the ground.
Yeah, if somebody was like, you're gonna go spend 100 years on a remote island, and you're only gonna be able to watch one movie, and it's got to be one of these Fantastic Four movies, I'd be like, can I take a book or something, or like,
Just give me a stick. I'll be all right. I'll play Star Wars or something.
Can I just have like a volleyball?
yeah, be like, I was gonna say, Tom Hanks seemed like he was real cool with that ball. Can I get something like that? I really don't want to take none of these.
He fucked that ball.
Oh, you know he fucked that ball.
Yeah,
What happens on Desert Island? stays on Desert Island.
immediately after he drew that face on it. Yeah. Yeah, like he tried to fuck it, and then he was like, I feel like I'm fucking a ball, and then he like put the face on it.
He gave it a name, Wilson.
Yeah.
That's right, boys.
Jesus.
He's not here.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not.
Okay, so my rankings might be a little unexpected. I have the 05 as number 1.
Okay.
We kind of said that when we watched it. We were like, "Oh, this is the best one."
Yeah.
It is a movie. It was a lot better in 05 than
That's true.
because the superhero genre just had not come as far as it has now.
It was mid in 05, I thought.
Oh, it was mid then, but it's not. Yeah. It's less than mid now. Like,
yeah.
We all gave it real bad. So I'm gonna go with the 05. I actually, controversially, am gonna put Rise of the Silver Surfer right behind it.
I'm not mad at that.
And then 94 right behind that. Obviously, like all 3 of those are pretty close for me. Mm-hmm. And then we drop off a cliff to Fan4stic because I'm very similar to Oz in the fact that like I desperately want art to make me feel a thing, unless that thing is anger. I could watch the news if I wanted to feel that. Yeah. So I don't really need that in my art necessarily. Unless it's like the right thing where it's like the right kind of anger where it's like, oh, this villain did a horrible thing and like I fucking hate them.
Yeah.
Dylan knows the one. Fucking Moash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fuck that motherfucker. Anyway,
I went over through like lists of fucking shows, and I was like,
that nervous tick. But Fan4stic makes me feel nothing but a desire to do something else other than watch the movie. It is an easy last place for this. It actually got last place amongst all superhero movies. Was it me or Kevin that gave it?
I think it was Kevin. It might have been you.
One of us said it was Dark Phoenix. The other one said it was Fan4stic. But like, that was the bottom two on both lists without us knowing about the other.
that's great.
Yeah,
That is amazing. Yeah.
both of them came down to that. So there you have it, folks.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd put this one as like the worst.
Also,
But I really don't know what I'd put as the worst.
Joker 2 had not come out yet.
I still haven't seen it.
I think Joker 2 is worse than this, for sure.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Joker 2 is probably the worst superhero movie I've ever seen.
That's because it's not a superhero movie.
It's not anything.
It's the worst musical I've ever seen, too. Like,
You know what's bad? Him saying that kind of makes me want to watch it. Just to experience the awful.
Well, see, that's the crazy part about the reviews that we do. I guarantee you, people will go and watch the horrible fucking movies we watch just to understand what we're bitching about.
It happens every time. After we did 1990 Captain America, people hit me up and I'm like, oh man, I didn't remember that movie being that bad. After we did Star Wars Holiday Special.
I was gonna say,
happened there.
You guys not only hit me with Collateral, you hit some of the poor homies with that shit.
Well, we sat here for 2 hours and told them not to watch it.
But you knew.
I mean, shit, I made a random reference to the Too Many Cooks video, and we had a homie go out and watch that whole fucking thing.
Gave him trauma.
I was sent that shit from somebody in this fucking group. I forget who.
It had to have been me.
It had to been.
It's always him.
It might have actually been Scruggs.
Oh, yeah, that's possible, too. Yeah.
I'll say this in closing, guys, and that is, like, when it comes to these Fantastic Four movies, if you're, like, stuck in some layer of hell and Satan offers you to watch one, here's what you need to keep in mind. If you are stuck by yourself, watch the 05. If you are with a group of people, I would choose 94.
Yes. 100%.
Because alone, 94 is not going to be nearly as fun.
No.
I mean, the documentary also makes 94 a lot better. Because the documentary is pretty good. And so if you watch the documentary, you then are going to want to watch the movie and see what the fuck they were talking about. Then you're going to go, oh.
So slight omission then. If you were alone, 05. If you have to watch it with friends, make Caleb watch it with you because he's going to have a lot of good info.
Yeah, about 42 times during the movie, I'm going to be like, well, actually, during this scene, it's about like watching Lord of the Rings with me.
Yeah, but I feel like I missed less this way than if I were to watch Lord of the Rings with you.
Oh, no. You will not have any questions if you after watching Lord of the Rings with me.
No, like, I missed seeing less.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because, like, yeah, you can talk. I can't understand Doom anyway.
Yeah. No, Lord of the Rings, I'll pause it and be like, in this scene.
Yeah, he's like, nope.
Yeah. This correlates to page 234, the Silmarillion.
To this day, I've never watched it with him, and that's the reason why.
I kind of want to more now.
Okay.
I'll have to check a whole fucking day out.
Yeah, anytime that you just have a spare 14 hours or so, you let me know, and we'll do the thing.
I'm not sure I've had a spare 14 hours in 20 years.
Speaking of having a spare 14 hours, we're going to wrap this podcast up.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. It's almost 3 hours long.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're almost double the movie's runtime.
Again.
Well, next time you hear from this exact crew, folks, will probably be...
But I mean, nobody has to work
First
tomorrow,
steps.
right?
I have to work.
I have to work
yeah,
tomorrow.
these two had to work at like fucking less than like 10 hours probably.
Less, yes. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this bitch up.
Yeah.
This is way more time than Fan4stic deserves.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, we didn't spend a whole lot of time actually on Fan4stic.
That is true. That is way more time than any Fantastic Four movie deserves.
That's
So
right.
far.
So far.
So far. And we'll see what happens. Got my fingers crossed. This has been one of the episodes of all time.
I keep saying that while I'm on here.
I am so glad that all of the homies here and all of you homies listening and watching joined us on this expedition as we have watched and reviewed and suffered through all of these Fantastic Four movies on our way to First Steps. Yes. On our way to Lucky Magic number 5. Hopefully, First Steps will be the Fantastic Four movie that just makes us all completely forget about this bullshit here that we just discussed. And we can move on to greener pastures. It has been an adventure, and I feel bittersweet. I'm so happy to get this shit done, but it's so sad to think that the journey is almost over. It's been quite the wild ride. However, that would be all for this one, but we will see you guys again very soon, so don't worry. But until next time, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
I'm Butt Laser John. I knew I was going to break all of it.